Hello everyone and welcome to the LightBringers podcast. I hope you're very well and good today. I know that today is a very tough day for for everyone in America. I actually hope that it's a tough day for everyone in America, because it should be a tough day for everyone in America, because today has been awful so far. I'm literally going to mention this now before I do intros into the stream. And I've written a little thing, so because I want to say this properly, and it's important, and then we're going to get on with the show. And it's something we've all been talking about, which is actually why we're kind of late today, because we've been talking about it and we're upset about it, and there's a lot to be thought about. But I just wanted to say a little thing. So on Roe versus Wade today, a decision has been made, but for now, anyone that can hold a pregnancy, that's women and peeps in the trans community in states in the US, are having their right to choose removed. I want to say that we here at the LightBringers support choice, the LGBTQIA+ community, and the right and justices for all people, races and cultures. This is not something we support at all. Anyone that is on the podcast that I would have on definitely doesn't support that. The right taking away of Roe and Wade, like, they do not support that. They're all peeps who, everyone who comes on here, I vet like pretty hard. So yeah, if you're listening to this podcast, I'm pretty sure you're in the same way of thinking. Yeah, I will grab that and we will show that post. I have not seen it, so we'll have a look at the Arena Net post as well. Thank you, chat. Indeed. Otherwise, I have some amazing guests that are going to help cheer me up today, at the very least. And I'm going to show you their face, or kind of their face. I guess we only have two faces today, and that's including mine. Ta-da! And there's a lot of news as well. We have Malcolmist, we have Fornax, and we have Ozgotch. Yes, indeed. You are audible as well. People can hear you.
I'm feeling a little left out from these two. I should have sent you a lovely piece of art to represent myself today.
I'm kind of glad you didn't do that, because otherwise I'd be the only face here. Like, actual face, like,
You got this. Your face is beautiful.
Yes.
I resent that. VTubers have faces. Okay?
All right, sorry. Yes, you do. You do. That's true. Your face is wonderful.
Bastard.
No,
Yeah.
your face. Jesus Christ.
Shots fired. Anyway, carry on.
VTubist is not a fake. Is it? I don't know. You're great. Thank you. Jesus Christ. After what I just said, and you said, I want to start again. Oh, God. Okay, so, not red. Awesome. Chat, I hope you're well today, and I hope you're good. We have had a lot of news this past week as well. It's been a fantastic week of news for Guild Wars 2. I am going to have a look to see where this message is actually, but I'm going to let our guests introduce themselves as well. Otterscotch, tell us what you do, where you do it, and yeah.
Well, I play games and I do art. I do it right here. Twitch, I'm Otterscotch on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. I guess those are the only places I really am present. I am I'm just blanking on anything more to say. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay.
I play games, I do art. That's it.
Yeah.
That's me.
Did you tell us your Twitch channel address?
Otterscotch. Twitch.
twitch.tv/Otterscotch. No underscore or cat, like weird other stuff. Just like your name.
Part of the reason I went with Otterscotch is it's mine everywhere.
There you go.
Except for I think Instagram, where I accidentally signed up years ago and forgot my password and everything, and so I had to sign up again with an underscore.
Oh, so you kind of own it, you just actually forgot which thing you
and I can't access it again.
Oh dear. Well,
yep.
If you ever want to find the lost Otterscotch Instagram, it may be out there somewhere many years
somewhere.
Old. Yes. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Malcolm,
I'm also good at being a person.
Oh, you're good at being a person? Okay, that's good. Thank you very much for that statement. Malcolmist, welcome. Tell us what you do, where you do it, and hello, and welcome back.
Hello, everyone. My name is Malcolmist. I am a Guild Wars 2 streamer. I stream 3 days for Guild Wars 2. I stream 3 days out of the week with people including Iron Maiden and Angel Rider. and amazing people. I do artwork, I do coloring pages on Twitter, and I'm starting to pick up on YouTube as well. So I'm excited for that. But yeah.
Nice. Awesome. YouTube as well. There you go. And there will be links for peeps in the description below, so make sure you check out that on YouTube and places. Thank you for joining us today. And also, last but certainly not least, the very unique Fornax, the Crichton Herald, who is back
Thank
again.
you. Yeah. So yeah, it's there you go. I made a sign. That's me.
You did. I just realised it's actually covered. But you do have to. And people listen to this as well, mostly.
Okay,
so you do have to
the
say.
Crichton Herald anywhere on the internet, and you'll basically run into me.
Okay. Good stuff. Does amazing fashion videos. Pretty much the main reason Fornax, I'm sure, does anything on the internet, just fashion, right?
Sure, that's my my prime mover fashion. Totally.
Excellent. I'm so glad we could agree on this. Okay, so this week has actually been pretty. So originally, this podcast was going to be about burnout on Guild Wars 2, and also the studio blog post which came out on Tuesday. I'm not going to say unfortunately, because it's probably more fortunately. They came out with another 2 blog posts today. So it was World versus World Update June 2022. And also the very huge profession skills balance update. Now, balance update, they promised would be a little bit more frequent as far as I remember, which hasn't been the case. And has actually just been kind of the same, it feels like almost. So that's something to think about and remember. But I do feel we should probably go over the big studio blog post first, because it was pretty big and pretty huge. And obviously in chat, if you want to talk and comment on it as well, we can pick up on some of your comments and bits and bobs. We're going to bring it up in the thingamajig. There you go. And I'm going to read little bits and pieces, but generally, anyone wanna how are you feeling about all the news this week? What's it like to have so much news for Guild Wars 2 all in one week?
Too much to handle.
Too much to handle.
So many lemons.
That's fair. Is it
It's
good?
been fun because I really like seeing the updates, the communication, because that was a major criticism for a long time, was that they just didn't talk to us.
I agree.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true.
They have gotten a lot better at communication recently, and I really like it.
Communication has been a problem. This is a true fact. I often talked about ArenaNet as especially while I was doing fight psychodynamic counseling in the UK, I was always like, ArenaNet are like the parents, we are the children, and if we have no communication between ourselves, we can't have a great relationship with our game that we play. So I feel like that's a very, that makes some actual sense, which is interesting. But I mean, it's right, having education is good, but having communication is good as well. Okay, let's go into this and see where we are. So it was Josh first, who's studio director as well, was talking generally about the game, and was also talking about DX11, Steam launch, and all these different things and what they're trying to get involved with as we move forward. So the first major thing they talked about was end of I don't even know the word I was going to say then. End of Dragon Strike missions. I'm wondering if I read this actually, or if we can just pick up bits from it. I might read it.
That's pretty quick.
That's true.
It is.
I'm just a bad reader.
Not very long.
Okay. Hi all, it's Cameron Rich, obviously not. Lead systems designer for Guild Wars 2 and Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons. Oh, you can click on it and go to the actual menu and all that kind of stuff and purchase it as well, probably. Check the links in the description. We endeavour to expand on the concept of strike missions. One of the biggest changes was the addition of challenge modes in terms of design intent. Normal mode acts as an accessible That's worth remembering. Accessible stepping stone towards more difficult content, whereas challenge mode pushes players to showcase their mastery over the combat system and requires a higher level of group coordination, which we'll get to later in the blog post as we talk about raids. Ooh. We're happy to report that both the normal and challenge mode versions of strikes are fulfilling their intended purposes. Is good. We've seen a significant increase in the number of players playing strike missions for the very first time, and challenge modes are testing the skill and coordination of our more experienced players. While life is good, it could be better because strike reward mission things have been not great. Strike mission rewards have been an ongoing topic of community discussion since the release of Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons, and wouldn't you know it, we've been listening. Yay. On June 28th, we'll be taking another parcel of rewards for completing both normal and challenge mode strike missions. To start, the amount of gold that can be earned from completing a strike each week will be doubled. And then they've got a little breakdown. So this is the first thing, really. They've told us that strike missions are getting more popular, more people are doing them. And they've increased the rewards by 2 gold so far. And also they're adding a new infusion as well, which you can get account bound wise, and I think looks like maybe drop as well. I don't know, but
It looks really good too.
Honestly,
how do you feel?
The infusion is enough to get me more invested in. I don't do strikes. I don't do a lot of the end game content because I'm just farming for legendaries and stuff. So I'm running my comfort metas, I guess.
Yeah.
And so I haven't. Strikes are intimidating. I'm always afraid of being part of a group and letting people down. But you know that infusion's really pretty.
True.
Definitely understandable. I mean, my group run. I think we do strikes every day that I stream it, or stream Guild Wars 2, and the End of Dragons strike missions are actually pretty difficult compared to Iceberg Saga. But I don't think I've actually killed any of the challenge modes, but I definitely will be trying soon because I want that infusion.
That's cool. Okay. What next?
I think the reason that raids haven't been as successful in Guild Wars 2, despite the fact that the raids that they have created are actually interesting and dynamic and have challenging mechanics, which is what raiders, people who are inclined to raid, they want that. I think that they have always had a problem with the rewards, with the input of effort, and the bar of difficulty not kind of being equaled with the rewards that are on offer. And I'm not talking about the fact that you can unlock legendary armor. That is fantastic and that is great. But if you think of games like Final Fantasy and World of Warcraft, each tier of rating that they have has like something like 9 individual armor sets specified to like the class fantasy of each of the character classes / professions that they have. And that's 21 tiers of gear for each profession, for each individual class, for each raid in World of Warcraft, and that's excluding all the gear that you can get from seasonal events and crafting and all the rest of it. So I think that the kind of drought of rewards, especially cosmetic rewards in a game which is so heavily focused on cosmetics, has kneecapped people's interest and attendance and the longevity of the raids.
Yeah.
And that's a comprehensive answer, isn't it? See, I told you I did my homework.
I mean, I think you're saying opinion as well, obviously. Like, you know, that's, I mean, I can't remember if you said I think you said you played World of Warcraft, didn't you? As well?
An inordinate amount. I raided high end. I did like end game raiding for about 3 years in World of Warcraft, right through to Wrath of the Lich King. And I have collected most of the tier sets for the classes that I play, like all 21 of them. That's a huge part of the culture for a lot of people.
I remember when I started playing World of Warcraft, I went back and completed them just by running around on my own because there was so many, and then I was overwhelmed by so many, and I was like, this could be just a thing. So you're right.
Yeah.
I used to play World of Warcraft 2, and I was also a raider, and I was also one to get like all the sets for each class that I played. so I definitely can relate to that. I wonder if they could. I wonder if it would be really cool if they could do something like how they did with the legendary system for the new tier 3, where they could maybe add different styles to the legendary armor based off of maybe the wing that gets released, or maybe the wing that we're doing. Like, for instance, if we decided to do the gold wing, which is, I think, wing 6, where it would, once you completed certain achievements, you can unlock different like looks or renditions of the armor. Cool.
That's possible. I mean, that's possible for sure.
So at the moment, here's the balancing act which I see happening.
Okay.
They are trying to balance having a live service paid for by the cash shop with cosmetics, and so we have right at this moment in time, there's 115 outfits that they've created. 115. That's just the standard. So that could be as much as like 230 if every one of them is gendered. But say that's only like 160 for like individual armors that they've created. Even if a small percentage of those sets were put onto the content rather than the cash shop, that would unlock a huge amount of gameplay. And it doesn't necessarily have to be so. Like World of Warcraft's armor system, its transmogrification fashion war system is heavily themed around like class character fantasy. So there's lots of roguey sets for the rogues, and they're all dark and masked, and there's lots of like airy, beautiful, like ethereal sets for the priests and the druids. But in Final Fantasy, they theme the aesthetic of the gear to the theme of the raid. So, for example, if they were doing the Gambit, what is it called? Where you go into the Mystic Forge.
Mithrite Gambit.
Mithrite Gambit. If you're doing that, they could have just a couple, like 3 new sets of gear for each of the armor classes that are themed around this sort of Middle Eastern Moroccan style that they embraced, and that would give people a reason to go in and have it as a reasonable drop rate, as a reward. Thank you here is the content, thank you for playing it. That would be the ideal kind of I mean, I guess not the ideal. This is, I feel like they're always trying to reinvent the wheel, and I think there's nothing wrong with having aesthetic rewards for raiding. It's a tried and true method of getting people into raids and playing them.
They even did that a little bit with some of the Doom cosmetics.
Yeah.
So you get that, and it went over quite well from what I can see, because people love their Doom throne, and they love that enormous helmet that is bigger than most Asura that wear it.
Yeah.
I'm never going to wear that thing. I'm never going to get it. That's true, actually.
I want the skins, but I still haven't gotten it yet.
I will say that the other rewards that are locked, obviously there's a plethora of weapons and things like that, but Final Fantasy specifically has a massive amount of mount skins locked behind raids and achievements, as well as titles and emotes and hairstyles. There's a whole kit and caboodle, like scrolls to be played. So like they've got an in-game music system where you get scrolls, you get mini pets, you get all sorts of things from the raids. They've really just thrown the kitchen sink at it, and people play Final Fantasy like to the point of mental illness, I feel, at this point, you know. So I feel like more rewards. I think that's one of the huge downsides of this game that I absolutely adore, is the fact that they've never seemed to be able to get their arms around a fulfilling and rewarding system to show players, for players.
And it's not just like, people love being able to show that they've done this thing without like saying it. So they'll sit on their Doom throne to show off that they got it.
Yeah.
And they like, I like having things that I can put on and say, to say that I did this thing and not necessarily I put money into gold to buy this infusion, because you'll see the walking nuclear disasters that are just showing off that they have all the infusions in the game.
Yeah.
But what if you could be a walking nuclear disaster and have it show that you've done some really cool hardcore achievements?
Yeah.
Well, they had that. They had a mini for one of the Queen Jubilee things. It was the hardest that you could get.
The
It was
shadow
like
one.
yes, exactly. Yeah. There were things that they put in, and not to say that there aren't cosmetic rewards behind the raids, but they are. In terms of industry standard, shall we say, the rewards are not significant enough. They had the whole ceremonial set, the non-ceremonial armors, didn't they, behind one set of strike missions? But it's one, they don't shout about it enough from the rooftop so that people are aware that this is the thing and this is what you get for it. Loads of people, when I made the video, were like, where do I get it? How do I get it? They didn't know. And two, I feel like they could be more generous with the in-game rewards generally.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. I mean, that's the thing, right? I think it's a strange one, because I started thinking about DKP, then Dragon Kill Points, like, and then thinking about old school raiding and what I used to do in Rift.
DKP.
Yeah, I mean, we
God.
like getting someone to do that. I did it for a while, which was a big mistake.
50 minus DKP.
Yeah, exactly. But like, you know, so if no one knows what Dragon Kill Points are, when you're raiding and you've got like either a static raid or you've just got a group of people, and drops, so you go into raids. It used to be that you go into raids to get the drop, so you can get the highest level items. Now Rift was pretty good with this, because you needed, like, the best in slot PvP amulet was for a cleric, was like in the, I can't remember what raid it was called. It was the air raid, the air element raid. Well, I can't remember what it was, Crucia or whatever. And you would go in there each week and you'd get points for, like, 1, turning up to the raid, 2, how many creatures you killed that week, and it would all accumulate, so that if new people came into the raid, they would have to then start at the beginning and accumulate points to get gear. And you'd spend it like a currency. You'd spend these points you've accumulated on, like, as if they're a currency on items in the game. And I loved that system. It really got you into it. Like, it was just like a cool way of, you know, just trying to get items and working with the community. That was what really got me into raiding, actually, that whole system and the fairness of it. And now I'm like, Guild Wars 2, everyone gets their own gear and armor and it's a random drop, and that's cool. But there's no way to say, like, you get a pool of armor and weapons and whatever, you can dish that out to people who need the different things. I think that would be cool, or that would be something nice. But also, like you say, like, having armor that is relevant to that raid. So you know how we can get, obviously we can pick up armor pieces, weapons, etc. of ascended shard, what are they called? The when you kill a boss, you get currency and you can spend it on getting ascended weapons and armor. I can't remember the currency's called.
Obsidian shards.
Obsidian shards. And you got all the answers today, Malcolmist. And
I raid every week.
There you go. Oh, fair enough. And if every time, you know, I mean, now they could do it easily, because let's face it, they're probably not coming out of another raid.
I was wrong. It's magnetite.
Magnetite shards. Magnetite shards. Yeah, Obsidian shards is legendary stuff.
Yep.
Magnetite shards. Yes, thank you. And you don't have all the answers now. You have all the wrong answers. I'm
gonna
But
rewind.
being able to, so when the new raid came out, or going back maybe, and just assigning different, you know, looks to that would be easy. The only problem is that the model for Guild Wars 2 is very different to World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy 14. That doesn't mean they shouldn't do it, but it is complicated when your game is funded through a store. That's the only problem. But they did do it, like you say, with Doom Helmet, the Doom thrown, but I don't think that was enough to get people into it. Honestly, it was maybe a focus for a while for the top end, but I think otherwise, like, I really want it, but I'm not doing it. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, what would make, and I would say that I'm a person who enjoys raiding. I've raided in loads of games previously, but I don't have the drive to want to do it. And it might be that that's not enough for me. I don't know. I don't honestly know.
I will say that they also did it with the dungeons. So each of the vanilla dungeons had these beautiful tier sets and weapon sets that were entirely themed to the dungeon and were really rewarding. And if you'll note, people still farm the dungeons to this day.
Yeah.
Some of their armor skins are just terrific.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So if they're looking for proof of retention, they can do it. It can be done.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
Yeah. I will say that as a game that is obviously free-to-play base game, doesn't have a sub, it does make sense why they have the cash shop, and it is completely understandable. I do wish they would find a medium ground where we would get things that we can work on in game while simultaneously being able to support them. Because obviously we love this game. We don't want it to fall away just because they lost funding or whatever. I kind of wish that NCSoft would give a little bit more funding so they had more of a leg room to stretch out and do some more things and get some more things done. But that's obviously on NCSoft. But yeah, I think that they should find a middle ground. So.
I kind of worry that their decision to have so much of the aesthetics on the cash shop is actually the gem shop, which is a cash shop. Is hurting. It's hurting the community, or rather, hurting the retention of players in the game.
We had this discussion
game.
last week. This was literally what the podcast was about.
Was it?
Yeah.
Sorry, I completely missed it.
No. Wow, didn't even watch it. Wow. Or listen to it.
Busted.
You
completely.
must have had a spare 4.5 hours during your week. Like, come on now.
Maybe.
No, that was an actual joke. That's a lot of time. I was like, it's a long time.
I do.
No. Oh, go on.
I just do wonder because we do have. Granted, the raid cosmetics are very limited, but we do have the whole dungeon set, and
forgot about that.
I don't know. Is that not like? There's a little bit of they don't communicate, so nobody remembers they have them. There's a little bit of it does keep people are still playing dungeons because of those skins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, newer players probably more so, I guess.
But I mean, newer players might not even know it's there.
Yeah,
because it's just not communicated.
Dungeons, I don't think is something they probably want people to flock to, because it's not. Because dungeons used to be we actually talked about dungeons last week as well. That's so funny.
Rewind.
Yeah, it's like it's weird because you're right. Like, but dungeons were kind of the in-game armor, right, for a long time. So they were the showy different skin stuff. So which is kind of where the legend. So I would say that the dungeon armor, maybe Ara or whatever, was like on par with looks of, or maybe comparison to legendary armor in terms of like stats, maybe, or best stats, or like temple armor.
So
or simply the unique skins.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Here's my proposition though, right? So how many raids are there? Or how many, like, there's like 3 raid tiers, right?
7. There's 7 raids.
There's 7 wings, yeah.
But there's 7 wings.
Yeah.
Or is it
wings?
So
yeah.
even if they only had 1 unique gear set for each, that was super themed to it, that they've still got like 115 sets that they sell on the trading post. On the gem store. 150, and that's just the outfits. That is not anything to do with the individual pieces.
There's 115 outfits.
There's 115 outfits.
Jesus,
I counted.
Wow. Okay.
So if you wanted to buy all those, that's 92,000 gems. Because they're 800 gems a pop, right?
How much is in gold? Did you work that out?
I did.
You did? How much gold?
It's about £900.
Wait, No, I mean I mean gold in the game. I didn't mean like actual money.
Sorry.
You're talking about real life gold. Okay, I get you.
Depends on the influx of gold, but yeah.
That's funny.
I couldn't possibly imagine how much that gold that is. That's more gold than I've ever seen.
Someone do it. Someone go in game and tell us in the chat, or anyone. You can tell us. Was it 9,200 gems? See what that's worth in gold right now.
92,000. So it's 800 gems per outfit.
Right.
115 outfits.
Oh, 92,000 gems.
92,000.
I wonder if I can load in fast enough to get this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, it's not 9,000.
And if it's something like 17 or 18, something like $20 for 2,000 gems.
You're right there. But still, £900 is a lot of money. And thankfully, all the wardrobe outfits are very. Yeah,
I mean, they're very good. They're the best bang for your buck that you can get off the gem store, because there's no transmute charges required. They're account wide and
27,000 gold roughly.
Yeah, I just
How
realized
much?
I can't actually type in to.
That much gold.
It's
basically
a lot.
9,999 gems times roughly 9.
No, 92,000. 92.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is you can only do 9,000.
999.
9,000
Yeah.
time.
So I'm doing 920 times 100, so it's
I'll be right
200.
back. 2 seconds. Keep talking.
Yeah.
Maths.
28,400.
It's a lot of gold.
Yeah. In translation, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Now this is also over the last 10 years, but yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, even if what I'm saying is that they don't have to impoverish the gem store, which is supporting the live service element, to actually have exciting rewards. Because although the gold is deeply welcome, deeply welcome, how many griffins would that pay for? A
Divide
flock.
that by 300.
Yeah.
A murmuration of griffins.
Yes. Yeah.
Lots and lots.
Mm-hmm.
So all I'm saying is that they don't have to kneecap themselves financially in order to have compelling rewards for raiding and for strike missions.
Really, people would go for both.
Yeah, I would personally. I've spent an enormous amount of money on the gem store.
I don't.
That's the thing is, there's there's skins in game, and there's skins you don't have that are in game that you probably want, but you still buy the stuff on the gem store because it's still cool. They put cool skins there.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
That's
it's
why I
not
want
like
them
an
to find,
either
a
or.
middle ground where we'll be able to still support them, but at the same time we'll be able to work towards stuff.
Because if we have a lot of rewards to work towards, if we have a lot of that stuff, then people are going to be online to see the new updates in the gem store and buy those too.
Yeah,
it's a balancing act. How much do you give so that your community will also reciprocate, right?
Yeah.
And it's a good faith. I mean, looking at like Diablo Immoral and it's horrific.
I love that.
That's beautiful.
That was a good play on words.
Horrific predatory monetization. Guild Wars 2 and it's very fair system. It's a very fair system because you can play in game and get the gold. The gold exchange system it's a really redeeming feature. And I don't want to disenfranchise the company, and I don't want them to not make money. It is a business entity. But I feel like that they might just be hamstringing themselves with how they're going about it. I feel like the more engaged your community is, the more rewarding you are to them, the more goodwill you're generating, the more that they are likely to reward you.
And I get it.
None of that has to be predatory or debilitating for the company.
They're a small company, but even then, it feels like they could have just like a team of 5 people just chip away at it for a few months and have the skins made and all properly mapped to character models and everything.
No, I do know that they state also in the post that they do have stuff they haven't announced yet that they're still working on for the core. I mean, it could still happen, but they definitely need to work on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, do you find doubling the gold exciting? That's my dog. He does not find it. Isaac is not amused, okay?
Well,
Do you find
it's
more
not-
gold exciting?
It's not just the gold, right? So we have to give them credit here. So like to say, so in addition to that, you have to say 1 antique summoning stone as well per mission, which is worth. So if you think about it, is it 1 per strike mode and challenge mode and thingamajig? Because if you look at how much 1 is worth, which is worth 6 gold right now, that gold is not really. Are you talking about just as in like we're just monetarily being kind of, well, in-game monetarily being rewarded? Because if you think about it, it's actually closer to, even if you get 1 per raid, like per strike, and you don't do the CM, you're getting like 8 gold a strike, right?
Okay.
Something like that, at least.
Does that get you, you know,
Does it get me going?
hot and sweaty? Like, you know, are you set
I
ready?
don't know. At the moment, yeah, because I'm like farming
Cool.
legendaries. So like,
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't want me to do it though. Still,
So-
because it's not like a skin that I want. Like you say, I agree with you in terms of the skins. Like I think that is what a raid reward should be. I like gold. Like gold is good because there is so much in the game you can buy with gold. But remember, it's important for us to remember as well that gold is one way that people can access the store if they can't afford it, which is the only
Confirmed.
real good thing.
Jebro is a cheap date at the moment, girls.
What? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Get out of bed for gold. Yeah, that's fine. We won't judge, darling.
Oh no! I mean,
I'm just messing
an
with you.
American
I'm messing with you.
student. I'm in $100,000 in debt right now. Of course, I get out of bed for gold. Jeez. But like, it is upsetting. Yeah. I try not to think about it too much. Think about the good work I'm doing in the community instead. That'll work.
Yeah.
See, that's what gets me going. It's good times. It's good times. The rewardingness. Okay, so yes, I agree with the skins. I would prefer to see skins and like, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, people want skins, but then they got the sword and the weird stuff that came with from, you know, when you complete the strike, you get that sword, which is like, it's just the only reason it's unique is because you can't get it any other way other than getting it from a strike, and that's it. It just doesn't look good. It just isn't good.
Ooh. Okay.
I
There
guess
was
That's
a
weird.
shoulder skin that looked really cool for
Alright.
Ice Cream Saga.
I need to see these.
That I think it dropped, and you can also buy it off the trading post. That was pretty cool. I mean, I like that.
Oh, okay.
There was also, I mean, there are some unique, don't get me wrong, there are a few unique items that you can only get via raiding. I just think that the drop rates are not sufficient to get people interested because they are so vanishingly rare
Right.
Yeah.
that the stuff that they do have locked behind the raids as rewards, it's not promoted enough so people don't know it's there. And the fact that, and a personal pet peeve, the fact that there is only one mount skin that you can unlock in the game via gameplay is not great. It's not great.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, we're going to push on. There is a lot to talk about today. This is a big one, though. It is a big one. I get that. I mean, you did get the one ASS as well. You get...
Just distracted looking up all the weapon and shoulder piece skins, and yeah.
There's some beautiful stuff, and
Some.
I'm not shitting all over this. I think it's a step in the right direction. I think they're looking seriously at how to retain players. I honestly, it's good. It's good, but
Okay, good.
you've
I'm joking, you can shit on it
got
if
to
you
show a bit of thigh. You've got to show a bit of thigh, and then they're just not wetting people's whistles to get in there. They've got to sex this up a bit.
There's also that cloak too. But
Yes.
Yeah, there definitely needs to be more.
A lot
fair
of the reward skins that I've been seeing are kind of niche in appearance. Like
Yeah.
you'd have to have a very specific look for them to work at all.
True.
But
I'd agree with
I guess
that.
one thing
the
is
whole
that,
rune set from Iceberg Saga. Yeah, that was very. If you didn't have it paired with the whole set, it looks weird.
and the dragon scale cape is, you got to have a very specific look for it not to just look tacked on to your whole
There is
fashion.
the wound cape that you got from doing the strikes the strikes in general, but that's also very stylized.
I think one thing that's really cool about skins in general, they're this very tangible thing. When you're earning gold, it's this kind of amorphous, you're ticking up a number towards general rewards that you might get in the future. But if I'm getting currency and I need 100 of this currency to get this armor skin, it feels closer and more tangible.
I mean, I also have to say that they do have quite a few skins, especially with Ender Dragons, that you just earn as you play through the story. And that is very, very welcome. And there are some really beautiful sets. But again, the only thing that I wish that they would do is actually like be more proactive at telling the community, look, there are 7 new sets here that we're giving you in this expansion. You get them through story, they're beautiful, they're dyed. They could have a whole stream of just showing off all these things and how and rough paths on how to get them. People who don't want to be spoiled won't tune in, but the vast majority, at least there's a point of reference from the official sources where people can see all the beautiful assets that have been created for the expansions. I feel like they're not selling it enough.
Like all the specialization weapons and armors.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Love those. They do have some really good ones.
A lot of my gameplay is just going in and collecting and crafting, that kind of thing. I've got every single weapon, including the Ascended, for the Heart of Thorns elite specializations, for Path of Fire elite this is my jam. This is why I like to play. I like the story, and I like to collect shiny objects. I'm like a magpie. So, kink confirmed.
Okay, now that's happened. Gonna move on to the next sections. I am looking at news for Guild Wars 2 across the board, and the balance patch is causing a lot of grief for a lot of people. So I really am looking forward to looking at that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we are in for a stonker right now. We really are. Okay, so in the blog post as well, they were talking about a small group of devs that were left on the wayside, on the sideline, because things weren't being. They didn't have to start a huge project which involved everyone. So they got going and they did the Special Forces training area changes, the dungeon reward changes as well, as some other improvements. There's Dude, Where's My Cursor? So now there's different contrast settings as well to improve the visibility of your mouse cursor.
Excited about that
I
one.
am really excited about that one because eyesight is awful, and I used to use YOLO mouse, but for some reason it would crash my computer sometimes. So I never used it again, and I literally can't see sometimes. I'm just like, where? And I'm like this. Where?
I'll be using my ground target abilities. I'll put a ground target and scribble around until I can see it through the mess.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I was asking Ian the other day, how do you feel about it with you having YOLO mouse? And she's like, we'll see how big it is.
Yeah, that's the thing. The size of it is the cursor is one of the things as well. Yeah. A place where size does matter. So anyway.
And more accessibility features. I hope this is the first of many, because there's a lot of room for improvement.
It's true. I'm waiting for that to come out in chat. That one's gonna laugh fun. That was my note. There we go. Maybe. I think that was a laugh of mine. I don't know. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it's an accessibility thing. There's definitely a lot of light and pixels and brightness and noise on the screen, which I would love to see reduced a lot, actually. But even though I have it all on my screen anyway, because I like to live in a world of make-believe. And just outside of the screen, because I can see it everywhere I go. because that's how much it's burnt into my corneas. Okay, so
I have a question, sir.
Sorry, go on.
I have a question.
What is the question?
Do you think that them actually like addressing the issue of the cursor is a precursor to them actually allowing us to have more autonomy over the interface?
Oh God, you're going for it now. That could be a podcast in itself. We've talked about this briefly. I don't think it's enough change for them to start messing too much with the rest of the UI. In all honesty, I don't think it's gonna do that. I think they're stuck in. Although, saying that,
the problem is, I just don't know. Like,
Go ahead.
I just don't. The part of the problem is more likely to be how ingrained it is into the code of the game and what they will have to break and then frantically fix in order to give us that control.
Because they've said that before many times, and I know, like, you know, they've told even if you just go to a show and talk to a dev, they'll be quite open about this. You know, the code, how the game was created. I think, you know, and it's very old now. They have to kind of go in and. They do. It's like with any balance patch or any patch or on any MMORPG or any game, you go and move something or like add something breaks somewhere most of the time.
Many things.
Yeah, and and in Guild Wars 2 that we've seen that happen a few times, but it's not been that bad. But I think you're right. I think like the UI change stuff, that would be cool. If there was more options to move things about, like you can with the map and stuff, that would be cool.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's somebody working on it actively. Like, it's probably their side project that they do in their free. Because I don't know if ArenaNet does this, but some companies will give you like some will give their devs like half a day out of the week to work on their projects, the things that they know need doing. And if they're doing that, if anybody has any downtime, they're probably tinkering with it. But
yeah,
that's possible.
The one thing that I want is like, even if it's just like a very small little area, but like I want like a bar where I can put certain things like my food or a port scroll or something like that.
Ooh.
Something that I use actively, but I don't want to have to open my inventory, find it, click on it, then it's good. I just want like a little bar. Where I can either like hotkey it or just have like maybe just like four little buttons
so you can
where
use
I can
your
put the most used stuff.
Exactly, like food, like you say, like the anvil, whatever, or like, you know, the waypoint, your waypoint thingies, whatever, or just like stuff, like,
or the portal thing for people to use your portal device. That'd be nice.
It would be nice not to have to choose between the fishing boat and the fishing rod.
God, yeah, that's true. Even just that, and maybe you were insinuating changes like that, like literally that one change. That would just a little extension bar or flip over or something, like flip over to utility bar or something like that. That feels like a doable thing. Like
you can still be simple while still adding a little bit of buttons here and there, and it's completely fine. It totally makes sense not to have. Yeah, it totally makes sense not to have like UI like World of Warcraft where you have bars upon bars upon bars. But like having just a single line or just a single like maybe 4 buttons where you can customize what you want, that'd be.
The Guild Wars 2. So I've talked about this before. There is an option to download a mod which gives you the Guild Wars 2 UI, but then it mixes it with elements of the WoW UI as well, and you've got like little bars. Like imagine, so I'm imagining. I think I was playing a dwarf. I don't know, one of the newer classes, and like I had item bars right with food and stuff on them as well, and like gear and stuff, and I was just like, wow, this would be so cool. Anyway, it would be cool. But what do we think about the repair anvil as well? That changing, so you don't have to repair your armor anymore. I think
like it, but I've also heard people say they dislike it. I like it for the reason that yes, we haven't had to repair our armor for any cost in a very long time, because it wasn't because of the elections. But we didn't have to purchase that for a very long time, so it doesn't make any sense that we have to go back and continuously repair it. Besides the role play of having to repair your armor. So it makes sense why they removed it. And I do like the mechanic that it gives you a buff if you decide to go do it anyways. But I do know people who say that they don't like having an extra thing to go click on just to get an extra buff.
Yeah, exactly, because it's another thing. Because you're still,
Yeah.
and so essentially, you're still going to go do that. You're still, like,
Yeah.
I know it's a 12-hour buff and it's long and you're not doing it that many times in a week, but you still have to go to a thing and click it to get buff. So you're not really removing that. You're just changing it, because how many times do you repair armor? Honestly,
If nothing else, it makes it so that a lot of people are going to be doing that more often. It's going to be more of a chore, because there's a lot of people who just either never die or just don't repair their armor.
yeah. Well, why do we even need to have a buff? Like, what is the point? Is it for like new players? I mean,
I think it's because it's a lot of people have the instant repair kit or the kit that's
They spent real money on.
yeah. So they obviously don't want to take that away from people, and so it actually makes it incentivized to have that, because you can have it and it'll constantly give you that buff because you have it in your inventory. So that's cool that they did that. However, not everyone has that, so unless you don't have it, yeah. I do agree and I do disagree. So it depends on the situation.
I think that's probably the reason why they've added the buff. Like, if you've paid for it, like, yeah, because otherwise they lose a bunch of money, and like people would get really pissed about that. So that actually makes complete sense. That's probably the actual reason, I would say.
I feel like if they did remove it, though, they should probably just give the gold back. That would be.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd also have to go to the hassle of removing the anvils everywhere.
Yeah, that's true too. Taking that,
so it
They
feels
wouldn't
like a
have
utility
to...
action.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they can just leave them. They just have to disable
them, which is almost as much work as as removing them,
rather than just altering their utility to a certain degree.
Fair enough.
I mean, to be honest, my play sessions are like 4 hours a piece, roughly. So I mean, I'm not gonna be too like out of the way on it. But for people who play more than I do,
Does the buff persist through death?
As far as I can tell, I mean, we don't know yet. But like,
was that a question?
If it's mirroring,
yeah, it was Kitsu in chat. If the buff goes away upon death, it means I'm going back to it just as often.
I don't think you'll get. I don't think it's a death thing.
I don't know
I think it's gonna be like any where it's gonna be
it's
like
a
punishment specifically for elementalists. Fuck elementalists specifically. Yes.
Yeah, I can't think of a single other buff that's not like a story-based buff or an achievement that does not persist through death.
Yeah, I think it's gonna persist. Everything else seems to persist. So
I mean, they could have the dwarves coming and blessing all the anvils and giving this like buff as they're returning to the world or something.
There could have been some RP or like canon behind it. That's true. That would have been pretty cool.
I love making up
I would love
bullshit.
that.
You can do it just for you. And now it's our story. The dwarves have come back. I'm up for that. Dwarves coming back doing things.
Everyone go to my channel. I did a whole like lore series on the super expensive store mounts, you know, the ones that cost 1,000 gold, 1,000 gems. I did a whole lore series on them to give them some like grounding in the game. So there you go.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, because I'm a nerdy swat. So there.
Yay, lore. I love
Go
lore.
check out the things.
Fun. It's just fun to do.
We're going to raids now. Okay, raid accessibility. I'm going to read this one. Okay. Improving raid accessibility. While raids are exciting end-game content for 10% of the community, or 7% of the community, they have a high barrier to entry, and can be difficult to break into. But that doesn't mean that players aren't interested in trying them. In fact, in our regular player surveys, which I've never seen before, raids are often, I don't know where they are. Like, where are they? Where are the regular players?
Why haven't you asked us?
Yeah, why haven't they asked us? Has anyone ever seen one of these player surveys before?
Maybe it's on the forums.
Probably on the forums.
Yeah, which is the worst place to have them. No one goes. Like, why would I go to the forums?
Post it on social media. I mean, I guess it's maybe to try and not have so many trolls, because I mean, there obviously will be trolls, but
if they post it on
most of the trolls
public.
are probably on the forums anyways.
Yeah,
We should find a way to do this in-game through like an in-game mail where they could send out random
or
polls
just
to
an
active
email
players.
like to me,
Yeah.
like as part of
Aw.
the thingamajig, which is probably where it is, honestly, because I never check those either.
I've never gotten.
No, I don't think so.
We need to have a
Okay.
new election, and then like there's certain NPCs have certain prompts, and then you choose what prompt you want, and then
Yeah.
they use that.
Yeah. Get
Have an
Jebro.
election.
I'll get in the game. I'll be a mayor. There you go. Mayor Jebro. I'm already the mayor of Vardenfell in Elder Scrolls Online, so I was made mayor. Okay. In fact, our regular player surveys raids are often the top content that players say they would like to experience, but for one reason or another haven't been able to. We want to break down some of the barriers and experiment with a systemic approach to making raid content more accessible. Our answer is the Embolden system, an option mode that progressively ramps up a player's damage, health, and healing output each time they fail an encounter. Here is how it works. This is a big thing. Each week, one of the 7 existing raid wings will be set to Emboldened mode. Upon entry, raid members will gain their first stack of Emboldened Enhancement, EE. Everyone's going to start calling it EE, which grants additional health, damage output, and improved healing to aid in their battle against each boss. Each time the raid wipes against the boss, they'll receive another stack of Emboldened, granting up to 100% additional health, 50% increased damage, and 50% increased healing output. On defeating the boss, the Emboldened stack will reset to 1. Emboldened mode is only entirely optional, and for those who prefer the challenge, it can be turned off by visiting the moat inside that raid. Deadly encounter mechanics will still be deadly, and players will still need to respect them, which is good. But this system will give new raiders a chance to ease into learning them. Now that there are restrictions to this feature, one, Emboldened system will be disabled when challenge mode is activated. Obviously, additional certain prestigious achievements are not attainable when under the effects of Emboldened enhancement, which makes sense because that would be kind of stupid. Also making a few changes to the looking for group. There's a training looking for group now in raids, as well as looking for group experienced. And we hope these changes encourage players to take their first step into Guild Wars 2 endgame PvE content and join the tight-knit raiding community. If you're new to raids and ready to get started, there are many great guides and resources on the web from your friends over at Snowcrows, Metabattle, Hardstuck, and Muckluck Labs, which is awesome that they actually linked creators' stuff for once.
Yeah.
That is good. They missed some sites there, but that's okay. At least some people got mentioned. Thoughts, fears, dreams, delights.
I love it.
Yeah.
The reason why I love it is because I am a raid leader and trainer for our group, and we sometimes have people that obviously can't make it, and not everyone can make it every week. So we sometimes have to bring in new people or people that are not like completely familiar with it. So sometimes we have to train every now and again, and so we if that happens, sometimes we wipe a lot, sometimes we don't. It depends on who we have, but it's nice to have this because we haven't made it to certain bosses, and being able to have something that'll allow us to see the further along in the fight and be able to train certain parts of the fight without having to worry about being stuck on a certain like first part of the fight. It's really nice, especially for like Q1, Q2. Doom, any of those bosses that you're not able to get to just because of mechanics. It's just gonna be really nice to be able to train those things and also be able to get people the achievements for, let's say, their legendary armor, or get them further along the path to do more things, and then to train them just to go and find their own static. So I think it's a really, really good change.
I think it'll also discourage groups disbanding because they're getting crushed by the wipes.
Yes,
It's gonna be a huge boon to like training raids.
Yeah, that's so true. We're doing our group just started raiding again. I know that, you know, there are certain fights where it's like I mean from what they're saying in the strikes as well, it feels like they're really trying to get to this place where, you know, killing the boss is like on a normal mode without the CM is like is the standard, and most people are going to get to that point where they can do that. That's where they want people to get to, and then you have the option. It's almost like a story mode raid or dungeon. They did it in Rift actually, which was like I know it's not the same. This is something I would love for them to really do, so it can give people access to the story more. So
I've wished for that.
Yeah, I know Wing 4 does it, where there's a story inside that wing that nobody knows about unless you raid.
Yeah.
And it covers a story that was in Guild Wars 1 that basically ends a story that wasn't touched up at all at the end of Guild Wars. So the fact that they have that story in there is really cool, but you can only see it if you actually raid and you complete the wing. And killing Deimos is pretty difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So having that accessibility now is going to be really nice, because people can see the story, they can see what's happening, and I'm hoping that'll help.
If you haven't got to that, I did a full story I did the whole like lore of the wing with all the cutscenes, if anyone's interested.
Yeah, I just have had to rely on those because I haven't been able to raid. Yeah. But I love the story. That's half of what I play the game for. And so I miss out on that story because...
Yeah, I love Wing 4 story. Wing 4 is probably my favorite wing out of all of them.
I mean, I have been asking for some sort of attrition for the mechanics for a very long time, so that casual players or players who don't adhere to the meta can actually experience the whole game that they paid for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they've copy pasted the Final Fantasy XIV attrition mechanic, which is great. I am all for games feeding off one another.
Yeah,
that's absolutely smashing.
If something works, definitely, yeah.
You don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. Guild Wars 2 is already like bonkers compared to like so many other games. So many people who play a lot of MMOs come into it and they are like bamboozled. And they love it, but they're like, what? They get lost, right? And I mean, I think there's so many fantastic things, like these massive dynamic map events are fantastic, unique to the genre. They have some of the best like interface when it comes to dies and stuff, but there's nothing wrong with looking at the other people in the space and going, they did that really well. Let's use that.
Just don't do World of Warcraft where like, oh, this works, let's just copy everything. Like the mount animation.
Dragonfly, yeah.
Yep, the mount animation. It's like, dude, just make a mount animation that looks a little bit different, okay? It's fine if you copy the mechanics, but like...
The sad thing is that with the WoW mount dragon animation is it's not as good or responsive, or it doesn't have the little responsive changes in the animation.
Yeah.
That the Griffin and the Sky Scale have. Anyway, I think it was just like, you guys copied the bones of it, but not the flavor.
Yeah, but it's nearly a decade old, and it's still better in Guild Wars 2. That's crazy, right? I mean...
And I think that maybe one of the things that I've seen is they're so used to doing that, to completely reinventing something and doing it just... nobody ever thought to do it this way, that they're constantly trying to do that. Even when they could just, they've got a wheel with ball bearings now, we could just use that. We don't have to make our own ball bearings for our fancy wheels.
Yeah, you don't have to tie yourself into a pretzel every time you want to tackle a problem.
Sometimes you don't need to make something new.
Yeah. And sometimes something that's already in place and something that a lot of players love is something they want to bring into this game. Just make it your own flavor, but like don't like completely reinvent.
I mean, it's also good. It's good from an economic standpoint as well. They have already tested this. It works. People like it. There's good raid retention. There's less raid breakups in Final Fantasy than there is in most games because of this attrition mechanic, whereby every time you mess up, you get more and more buffed, and it stacks and stacks until you kill the boss. So your reward for persistence is not just
a win.
Dying and dying. Yeah, exactly. You get the win. You get the win if you're willing to put in the time, and they're rewarding you for your time. That's one thing Final Fantasy does incredibly well. It respects your time.
And the one thing too is I've noticed a lot of people saying like, is it's just gonna let people bypass some of the bosses. I'm like, that's if you are deliberately dying to a boss just to get the buff, you're wasting more time doing that than just killing the boss that takes 10 minutes to
Well, even
kill the boss.
on top of that, it's only one wing a week.
Yeah.
So if it does save you a whole 10 minutes by just GGing 5 times in a row and then wiping it, that's only one out of the entire wing system that you're planning on clearing anyway. So it really doesn't
I mean,
all it is gives them a break.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the restrictions then? Do you think that they should have just rolled it out to all of them, or do you think that they're trying to focus it down to like individual wings to sort of like see how the community responds to it?
I think it's an economy thing.
Yeah.
I think it's an economy thing as well, to be honest. Maybe response as well, but like if they did it for everything, then people may think, oh, it's unfair for everything. But I do think you have to think about economy a little bit.
Yeah, because the ghost leaders are going to drop in price. The other infusion that I can't remember, it was going to drop in price. It's going to be easier to get ascended items, which isn't a bad thing, don't get me wrong. But it's going to be easier to get those things, so the price of them is going to drop. And also the resources to make ascended items are going to drop, because now people are going to be getting ascended pieces at a higher rate, because they're either going to buy it or they're going to have it drop from the boss.
Exactly.
So.
But surely that's something that they want, because they've never wanted the game to be a loot treadmill, right?
True. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's never. I would argue it's not really like it's not too much of a treadmill, but like there has to be some grind. There just has to be, because otherwise, what you're aiming for?
It's an MMO.
Yeah,
like they want to keep people engaged for every day for an indefinite period. So there has to be some kind of grind, which is not like a pretty thing to say, but you have to have a reason to be coming back.
We need to change that word.
You were saying,
we need to change that word to something more pretty now, as you said it. I'm thinking about. No, continue what you're saying. I can think about that outside of the podcast. It's okay. The podcast.
It's more because of the negative connotations of it.
Yeah,
because it puts you in mind of like these obsessive, addictive players who are just sitting there running the same event every 5 minutes for an entire day at a time. But I think one of the concerns is, you said economy, but not necessarily the economy of the trading post. It's the player population economy, which is something I was on Lara's stream yesterday, and somebody was talking about how if every one of the wings had at all times the optional, was it empowerment? No, and I've lost it. If they all had that easy, the assist mode, emboldenment, then you would have your learning player base spread out across all of them all the time. But if you have just one each week, then you have all your trainees, all your trainers, all focusing on learning that one each week. So it concentrates your player base.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you think they'll eventually just let rip and just have it on all of them?
I hope not.
I don't think they probably will, just because I know that raids are probably the hardest content to get into. I know strikes. The EOD strikes are pretty difficult, but I find that raids can be a lot more difficult because it's they're just really hard to get into, especially if you can find a group that knows how to do it and stuff like that. And I had a thought. I'll come back to it, but yeah, that's basically what it was.
Okay, I'm going to push this forward a little bit, and if you want to come back to it, that's okay. Drop it in.
I remember it.
Okay.
I was just gonna say that as a raider, I only raid like once a week, 4 hours during that day on Mondays, and over the last couple of months or years or whatever, I have accumulated so many ascended items that I wish I could just hand them out to people. But I feel like having, you're right, yeah, like maybe just like trade them in for more currency or whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe increasing the loot maybe would be crazy, just because we already have so much. But like maybe making it so maybe if you're a new person to raids, maybe you have a higher increase to get loot, and then it kind of slowly, kind of like, what is that called? What is the thing when it diminishing returns?
Yep.
where you can have a diminishing returns, have a little bit more loot at the beginning, but it slowly ramps down to normal the longer you raid.
I mean, I would say that, so if you look at the legendary armor, it is purely utilitarian and aesthetic. There is no increase in power with legendary armor. None.
Sure.
And people jump through hoops to make it. So I think that there's an argument to be had that the only type of rewards that are required to get people interested and to jump through hoops is aesthetic rewards.
Well, they do have the stat change, which is really, really nice, especially if you have multiple different specs for that class.
Oh, absolutely. The utility is amazing.
Yeah. And then you can switch out the runes and the sigils and stuff out of it, so that's really nice too. True. And having it unlocked between all characters instead of having to jump to your bank tune or whatever to get the ascended items. So I mean, I love the mechanics for legendary armor. I do feel like they should have a little bit of a increase in stats because it is a legendary armor, but I feel like then it would. I'm not sure.
They'd have to have an ethos shift, I think, in order to change that.
Yeah, maybe bring down like the overall, like not like stat crunch, but like just bring it slightly down a little bit.
I mean, I think it's interesting. So you hear a lot of, in traditional raiding, you hear a lot of raiders like turning their nose up at people with all the gear and no idea. And they kind of, they look down on people out leveling the content because of their gear or their level, right? And I feel like Guild Wars 2 doesn't get enough credit for the fact that it is not the gear. It is you and your ability to play. If you're looking for a skill challenge, then this is the one.
Yeah, and this is why I can't raid.
Ditto.
I think everyone, especially now with the Emboldened, I think everyone's going to be able to get into it. I know a lot of people who have started raiding with me recently that previously said that they weren't able to do it. So I mean, it all depends on how much you're willing to put into it, obviously, but
it definitely leaves me a lot more confident trying because at the very least I know that if I am having an off day and I can't like consistently do a decent rotation and keep up, then at least I'm not going to make it so we can't do the fight.
Of course,
finish the fight at all.
Yeah.
Do you think that this will at all address some of the rare toxicity in the community with the
yes
cop
and no.
blocking that happens and the how many mystic sigils do you have? Show me your bits and pieces or you're not getting in the raid.
But this
Link
is
me your shit.
where I go to find your people. Find your people.
Yeah,
you can find your people. Come and join the LightBringers. Come and join like us on Saturday. Join literally raining. Like, come and join us. We're literally raiding. Like, anyone who's listening to this podcast, you are welcome to join us on Saturday. Come and join our Discord. Come and sign up. We were doing a raid this week, for example. Malcolm's community does raids. There are places where you can engage.
Forgetting to apply for the guild.
Yes, do it. Also, my guild. Like, you don't have to apply to guild to come and raid with us. Like, you don't have to be in it. It's okay.
The thing that I'll say as a raid leader and someone who's been raiding for a while, obviously that community can be very toxic. I will not pug raids. If I'm alone, I will not pug. Just because I know how that look. I know how people can be. I know how toxic it is. Even though I have legendary armor, I have legendary trinkets, I have legendary a whole bunch of stuff. I still feel uncomfortable pugging just because I don't want to be a part of the people who are like, oh, you cannot be a part of this group because you don't have such and such. I do believe that you should have a little basic knowledge of the fights prior to going into raids, which makes sense, but I don't believe that you should be leaving people out because they either don't have the gear or the not really experience, but like the kill.
Yeah.
Because people obviously know the mechanics. They may not have the kill yet, but they'll know the mechanics. So I feel like giving them the chance of doing that. It's like the whole saying of, you need to get a job, but you need experience to get said job. But it's how are you supposed to get the experience if you don't have that job?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like giving them that chance to get in there and get the mechanics down and learning things is way better than just leaving them out completely.
Because that might actually have more of an impact on the toxicity because when you put it that way, more people are going to be getting into the raiding community, period, just to start with, and so it might kind of start to drown out the people who just have to have, because there's always going to be people who have to have some prove yourself to me, prove the world needs to prove itself to me that it is worthy of my presence, you know?
Yep.
There's always going to be people like that.
Oh yeah,
and
that's not going to be. Then we're not going to get rid of those people.
But maybe just like overbalancing towards the people who are just in it to have fun and earn cool rewards.
Well, that's it.
And this will make it easier for people to also get into the raid scene, because it's gonna allow them to have or be a part of training groups that can actually succeed at these bosses and actually get the full look at all the mechanics and actually be able to go out and pug or find a static or get the gear that they need and then progress as raiders. So I think it's a really good step.
I don't even care, like in our groups, they don't even care if people know the mechanics. We'll just learn together. Like, I just don't care. I literally don't care. I don't care if we kill the boss. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm just like...
I throw my trainees into the fire. Like, you'll learn. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll go. Exactly. Like, we'll learn, and I'm learning as well. There's loads of encounters I can barely remember. I've done all the raids except one boss, and like... but that was years ago. Like, so I'm learning as well again. But like, I think this will help a lot. It will buffer, but it won't be like a thing where, you know, if there's a wipe mechanic, that still looks like that's going to be in there. So it's not like you're going to avoid all these things. It's just a little buffer as you learn, so the damage isn't ticking on you as much, so you can get to those important, because a lot of the time it's like, you know, it's like you can't get to that stage where you need to learn more that easily. So if you buff up the damage and the health, you're going to get there every time, and then it's just going to be a matter of, you know, finessing that strat or that mechanic and then kind of moving forward, which we're going to do right now because we're almost at 10 to 2. Okay, I feel like I can just go on to balance. They did something with the boundaries for story as well. You know, they're doing the soft boundaries that they've got in Ender Dragons and all the other instances now, which is really, really good. So you don't get randomly kicked, so you don't miss out on all the things, and you don't have to literally play the whole thing again.
Nice change.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, there is a big general change for balance as well. Like, they're taking away specific specific buffs. We're going to go through this in balance, but they're taking away specific. I don't know how much you all want to go through balance. I think it's something I really enjoy doing, but we don't necessarily have to go through it with a fine-tooth comb. We can just pick things out.
It's your show. You can do what you want.
Yeah, but like, I don't know how interested we are. We can have a look because people seem to be crying about it pretty hard. But we
has there ever been a major balance patch that people have not been overwhelmingly upset with?
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, this is the thing. A lot of the time, I would agree that sometimes the balance is questionable, but I would also
like
say
sarcastically and legitimately. I wonder.
Yeah. But like, also, a lot of it comes from the higher end people who think they know everything about the game before they even play it. And they haven't put all of these changes together into and play them in the modes that they're respective to. So I think there's a lot of knee-jerk reactions and crying over spilt milk and things that they have no idea how they will actually impact them when they come into the game, because they think about a very narrow focus of like their class. This is going to suck because of this, that, and the other, and they forget about everything in the game and how they come in. It doesn't mean that those changes are the best changes in the world, and things can change, but like, you know, I think people need to just chill the fuck out sometimes, honestly.
I'm so shocked. People are reactionary on the internet.
Yeah, I know.
This cannot be true.
I know. My reaction.
I think the one complaint I have about like just the general community is like a not really general, but like there's a certain group of people that will always be angry no matter what happens.
Yeah, I think that's just
And-
life as well, though, isn't it?
That's true. That's very true.
I think that's life.
And I feel like some people can be really overcritical. Like they'll see something and they will just completely demolish it to the ground, even though it's like a really nice change. But they will find every way to like pick it apart and find the little nitty gritty details just to give something that is negative about it. And I hate that. And I feel like there's like a small group of people that do that, but they're also like the most like loud people on like social media or just in like map chat or whatever. But there's like a certain subset of group like people. But overall, I feel like it's not too bad, but they can get really annoying.
And there's also, I've seen this really strong tendency in several people that I know where they don't even read or process the entire thing before their brain is already spinning to the worst possible permutation of the thing that they're reading. And they don't even get through the whole thing before they think they know what they're reading.
Yep. Yeah.
Who needs facts when you have your feelings? You don't.
We don't need that.
That's relatable, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it it is. It's really, there's this vocal group that either they're just feeling doomy the day that they read it, or they really like finding things to be upset about.
I think
this is why
there's a group of people. Oh no, you're. I was just gonna say there's a group of people that deliberately find things negative about so that they can have the drama or the attention on them. Like I know that there was some Twitter post recently, not like today, probably today, we'll see. In fact, I'm sure there's gonna be one. There was a couple posts back in the day where like there was people that would deliberately say something that was controversial just so that they can get responses on Twitter. So I think it's definitely like an attention thing. Like they want people's attention and they want people to react to them.
There are trolls. They're farming your feelings.
Yep.
And I feel like a lot of the ire directed at gamers is because of that tiny minority of people who are just being reactionary pricks.
Yep.
There is really loud minority.
Because I mean, even how many millions of people play games in the world? You know,
exactly.
it's a bigger industry in terms of finance than the film industry. There's more money in gaming than vast amounts of the entertainment industry, and even 1% of the people who participate in that are dicks. That is a huge amount of people shouting off, you know, and it gives the rest of us a bad name.
Come back and Quentin Harrell's just talking about penises.
They seem to use their ugly heads.
And how many in the world?
Controversial. Like right now for the abortion post they made recently, there are people in there who are already being negative about it. And
I took one glance and I'm just like,
really?
Yeah. It's
is it that I've not even looked, but it will be like, I wish game companies would stay out of politics.
Exactly what they're saying.
As soon as anyone says that, I'm just like, I have a message for you. If you think that video games and developers and companies should stay out of politics, let me give you a fucking message. People work for companies.
Exactly.
People exist in the world. And
developers are people too.
Like, Jesus Christ, stay out of politics.
Saying
that
in
my game.
Specifically to ArenaNet, it's like, have you actually played this game?
Right? Have you ever
played the story? Have you met any of the NPCs?
I will go ham in there later. I will rock their fucking world. I will do it.
Have you ever encountered any developer in any of the part of this game? Like they're all so wonderful when it comes to like rights and like support and just being amazing. I love the company in general just because of how they love to support the players and their own employees. And I just love that. And so people, when people say that, I'm like, you have no idea what you're talking about.
If nothing else, it's incredibly self-interested because they're looking out for themselves along with everybody else by making very clear statements like that. Like, yes, of course, they're this concerns them.
Yep.
This isn't a company you're talking to.
The problem is everything is politics.
Ugh.
And what gets me is when the people who play Call of Duty say that there's no politics. I'm like, have you had a brain hemorrhage? Have you had some sort of traumatic brain injury that you're not disclosing?
Yep.
Because holy shirt balls, guys. I mean, I guess the politics is so thick that they cannot see the politics because they're in the politics.
Yep.
You know, so like, there's no ocean, you can't see the water, right?
Oh my god. I can't look. If I look now, I'm just gonna start. I almost
we're
start
just gonna
typing.
go
I was
down
like, I was
rabbit hole.
ready. I was like, it was a reply, and I was like, cool, but make games. What? You can't have like a random opinion and make a post about something in 2 minutes because it's going to impact the entire existence of Guild Wars 2. My God, people are. Oh, anyway, we're moving on. Good lord,
Yeah, there's
people.
a rabbit hole right there. Let's miss that.
Good lord. Okay, so I'm going to read this.
I believe the technical term is fuck 'em.
Yeah,
Yeah, there we go. Let's
I can't.
Yeah.
I have to say something. Like, it's part of my being. If I don't say something, I feel guilt within my soul, and it's like it will stay there until I need to get rid of it. And I work in mental health, and I still can't switch that off. I just cannot.
Yeah.
I just absolutely cannot. Okay. More access to key boons. Having high uptime on critical boons is the strongest indicator of success when playing in group content. Might, Fury, quickness, and alacrity all strongly define your ability to successfully tackle challenges in the game, unfortunately. With this update, we're continuing... It could be... Yeah, I have that opinion. We're continuing to expand options for several professions and elite specs, creating more alacrity and quickness support builds, which is good. We've also looked at Fury and Might access across professions and have introduced or increased sources of Might. We've changed several traits from self-only sources of Fury to now share Fury with allies. This means damage builds will help maintain uptime on these boons and reduce the burden on support roles. Yeah, there you go. So we are probably going to go to... Maybe we should do world balance, might take a while. We're going to go, we might as well talk about this in the general balance patch, honestly, because that doesn't make any sense. I am going to pull us over. So any comments roughly about what I just said, like them changing, what did I just say?
I like it mainly because it's going to let our static have more flexibility when it comes to classes, and so it's going to be really nice, especially if people don't have certain classes, but they do have others. So it's just going to be nice to be able to have people that can branch out a little bit more, especially if they don't have, like, let's say, the Renegade or the Guardian or whatever. They'll be able to branch out another way. That's going to be nice.
They're trying to spread the burden. They're trying to, because I think there were some raids where it's very specific. You need this class, you need this class. Oh, you can't do it. You're not going to do this. You're not going to be able to do the achievement. And having more people have access to more of the boons is going to disenfranchise some people who are very vested in it, but open it up for others. So it's a bit of a mixed bag. I think if you're a warrior, you're crying. I believe that was the general gist.
Warrior jail. Warrior jail.
I am looking at the World v World post, and I'm going to try and filter this down a bit because it is pretty long. It's just mostly, it's kind of like their decision-making process. These posts are always really, really good, but can get lengthy for a podcast if I just read through it, because I didn't go through it and make notes. So yeah, I didn't have time because
new.
That happened today. So I got up. I have a rest on a Friday morning, actually most days because I work late. But I'm going to read it. Okay, so there was a World v World update, June 2022. It was literally today, June 24th, when doing this podcast live. And it is from Floyd Grubb, the senior game designer, who's on the World v World team. And they say they are excited to do their part in supporting this community. It's been fun to dive in over the past few months and learn the complex nuances of the game mode. One thing to be aware of is that a lot of devs are moving around different places. But if you notice, the balance patch notes are written by someone else who I actually don't know if I've known before, honestly, or I can't remember. But like, there's different new names in there, and there are different names in different places where I'm like, okay, people have been promoted, people have moved around. I know some balance people have moved. I know some balance peeps have left the company. I know some people have left the company completely and joined the company. Obviously, like Roy from, who was a big creator for Guild Wars 2, now works on the reward systems as well. And like, so there's loads of changes within the company, which actually I'm kind of. It's good to have that kind of new perspective and
a breath of fresh air when it comes to different people.
I think that's good. I don't think
bringing in experience and things they've learned from elsewhere in the industry, like
new ideas,
always good.
Yep, I agree.
Okay, so let's have a look. This is a big important thing because I think this is good. Brief introduction. I have over 25 years of game development experience with over 10 years in MMOs alone. Prior to joining ArenaNet, I spent some time working on large-scale realm versus realm game mode, very similar to World v World. Wait a minute. Floyd Grubb. Why am I getting vibes of who this is? If this
Not
is...
Battlefield?
I don't know. Floyd Grubb, MMOs... Someone needs to find out who this person is, because if they worked on some specific games, Reader Geek. Sorry.
What's the name? Floyd Grubb. Okay.
Floyd Grubb, with 2 B's. I need to know who this person is. I'm pretty sure, or if anyone knows, Reader, if you're doing work, don't do that. It was more of a joke. But yeah, I need to find out who that is.
Senior game designer at ArenaNet. Let's see. Elder Scrolls.
Oh.
I was on Elder Scrolls Online.
Most recently,
Heroes, City of Villains, Master of Orion, Invictus, The Shadow of Olympus, Star Trek, Stone Keep, Baldur's Gate, Star Trek, Lost Vikings, RoboCop, SimCity, Star Trek.
Looks like very recently they were on a game that has not yet been released.
Okay.
Or maybe was just... that's just gotta hurt.
Specialties, MOB, and player abilities, combat balancing.
Doesn't Star Trek Online have like massive fleet battles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is supposed to be the best thing in the game, basically.
Let's see, he was a senior game designer at ZeniMax, which is Elder Scrolls.
So I might have worked on Cyrodiil then.
NCSoft, Paragon.
Wait, he worked on Paragon?
Yeah.
That's it then. The Epic Games thing. That's how I know him then. There we go. That must be it.
And then, as of right now, senior game designer at ArenaNet full-time.
Well, I'm excited to see what that kind of experience brings.
Yeah. Looks like he was employed January 2021 present.
Oh no, it's Star Trek Starfleet Academy. Oh my god, this guy is so awesome. He's worked on so many of my favorite games. Oh my god, he worked on Lost Vikings. You did say Lost Vikings.
Yeah.
And RoboCop vs.
so
Terminator. Good. Wow, how Floyd this guy
1993.
I'm not even joking.
3.
Yeah, he is old school. He worked on Judgment, right? The Star Trek game. I fucking love that game. Oh my god, that is so amazing.
So he's bringing some really good, interesting experience in, and like I hear people talk about, oh my gosh, this person's leaving, that person's leaving, but it's just this really healthy cycling through of ideas around the industry. So
if you go and look up Star Trek Judgment Rights,
they're leaving are going to other places and possibly
taking their cool experiences and culture with them.
Yeah.
But like this Judgment Rights Star Trek game is something I played when I was 13, 14, and it's the original cast of Star Trek, and you have a bridge and you have you go down to the planet and stuff. It's, oh my god. I played it on stream a tiny bit, but oh my god, the memories. So good.
Next generation, right?
No. Classic,
Oh my god,
base.
Kirk and Spock. And,
oh yeah.
Well, Shatner, holy shit.
Yeah, this is old school.
Man.
It wasn't voiced or anything. It was just the game. But I mean, I love those games. That was I can't remember the company who made them, but yeah, there's some classics in there. RoboCop vs. Terminator was sick. Lost Vikings. I mean, like, you know, Blizzard, Activision, like flipping old. Well, it's not Activision, is it? But like, yeah, Baldur's Gate as well. It was QA and MISC, so you know that's early career, but still, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, still he got to see their production pipeline. He got to be there and be part of it. You know, this is
it's pretty big. So if he's talking about the big, large scale stuff, I think he's talking about Cyrodiil mostly in Elder Scrolls Online, which is the World v World comparative place where you literally have 3 factions, 3 alliances versus each other. So it's pretty much the same, but it's just one map rather than all the maps. And they've got Siege, and obviously I play Elder Scrolls Online. I'm on their stream team, so I know the game mode is very similar, but I prefer Guild Wars 2.
Is it a popular game mode? Curious.
It's got a lot of people in it, but their balance is not great, as in Guild Wars 2 is. But like, it is pretty popular. Yeah, they have like really big events around it sometimes, but it's still the same stuff. Cool. Yeah, we're gonna get to that. I'll keep going, but sorry. I got really keen. I got really keen about. Like,
I saw shinies.
It's okay.
I'm excited for those, and it's cool.
In today's post, I'll be providing some status updates on our ongoing projects. First, an update on our efforts to improve World v World rewards. One of the first changes I'm working on is having rewards earned from attacking or defending objectives scale based on the number of enemies you interact with in battle. Yes, that's awesome. Simply put, fights against other players while attacking or defending an objective will result in that objective being more rewarding than it is today. This is a step towards our goal of rewarding individuals for active participation in World v World. Flipping an undefended objective won't be any less rewarding, but now there will be a stronger incentive to rumble. Yes, that is so important, and it's something which has been massively missed, because basically I'm not a massive fan of World v World because it just feels like it's blobs of people running around and that's it. And the whole siege aspect of World v World is not really interacted with as much as I would like it to be personally. I get bored when I go in there. It's just it's just my own personal opinion.
I stopped playing World v World back in 2013 just because it got so cutthroat.
Yeah,
it got really badly cutthroat. Like,
I'm working towards my legendary armor in World v World.
Nice.
I've took a little bit of a break. I've got a World v World specific guild, and I can tell you that when you have a good commander and you're on comms, and there's lots of interaction on the map with other enemies, it's tremendous fun. It's tremendous fun. It can be.
That's true.
And I love the kind of the skirmishing that happens, and the kind of fighting to keep hold of the castle and sieging and mesmer portals, and it's a great. Yeah, it just desperately needs some love, and I was fairly sad for the community who are like, a lot of them, that's all they do. They're in it for the World v World. And when the End of Dragons came, and they didn't even get like an aesthetically changed map to match the Asian like fusion, I was kind of sad for them. I mean, they didn't have to give them they didn't have to reinvent the wheel, but if they'd just given them a new map to explore and find new tactics and points on, I think that would have been nice. Something, you know.
I agree.
Fingers crossed that guy sees the potential in the community. It's a deeply dedicated community.
Well, they've got the. Well, we're getting towards some rewards and some stuff, hopefully, that potentially will help. So there's, speaking of rewards, here's a preview of new World v World exclusive full weapon set that's in development. Once they're ready, we plan to add them in as rewards for participating in future world restructuring betas. Oh, right, okay. That's interesting. They look very engineering as well.
I do like them, yeah.
They don't have underwater variants.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Anyway, sorry, I've just been watching this with every set.
Underwater.
It's okay. Okay.
Anyways,
I know what you mean.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're all good. You can say that. That's okay. As for the world restructuring betas, our investigation into the litany of a lot of issues has manifest themselves as queue bugs persists. Over the last few months, we've resolved multiple code issues that accounted for roughly half of the occurrences of the bug. On May 31st, we announced that we are increasing the length of the World v World queue timeout grace period, in which players must accept their invitation to join a map or be removed from the queue. Good news is that the extended grace period hasn't increased average queue times, meaning we'll likely keep it nice. Trying to get through. However, okay. We were hoping to have the queue bugs squashed by now, but just like you, we're growing impatient and are eager to get another testing event rolling. I can hear someone typing, sorry. It's really loud. Thank you. Okay, we've made enough progress that we are becoming more comfortable moving forward with another beta test of the existing system. We'll be able to verify that the bug fixes are working at scale and gather a fresh set of data using the latest version of the backend. To clarify, this test will use the same front-end system that was blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm just trying to get to the nitty-gritty. What about alliances? Welcome World We World. Restructuring and alliance features both the server infrastructure and the player-facing components continue to move along. Recently, we've been designing the front-end interface, which hooks into the back end that our platform engineering team has been working on for the last year. Should I tell you what? This process, I think they underestimated heavily how much effort this was going to take. Like, I feel like I'm almost at a point where, how important is this system to the game? I'm almost at that point. How important is the alliance system to the game that it's needed this much work?
Reworking.
Yeah,
they're basically reworking the base game. So obviously it's going to have issues. Obviously they're going to have bugs. I mean, what game doesn't have bugs? It's not a game if it doesn't have a bug. But I feel like since they're having to rework the base game, or like the very literal bottom structure of Guild Wars 2, I feel like that's going to cause a lot more issues. You have to, once you fix a bug, other bugs are going to appear, and so it's just like a constant battle. So I feel like it's always going to happen. But I feel bad for them because they wanted to come out, but at the same time, like they're just having so many issues with the queue bug, and I feel horrible for them.
I suspect that with how dogged they've been on it, they just have not let go, and I suspect there's something bigger in, because they say they've fixed so many bugs in relation to it.
Yeah,
it may be tied to something else that they're trying to find and pin down, and this is just the part of the bug that we see.
Yeah,
so that's why they talk about that.
I mean, it's really refreshing to see them actually like full steam ahead with this. So it gives me a lot of really good hope for the system itself, and I feel really bad.
Yeah, it's just I don't know.
Once again, the communication's great. It's hard to see them struggle over this same issue so long, but I'm glad that they're telling us about it.
Agreed, 100%.
I think they were so radio silent on World World for so long. It really put off the community, and I think this kind of absolute honesty is exactly what they need to win them back. More posts like this, more transparency about what they're doing, why they're doing it, where they're falling over, where they're succeeding. I think this is great.
I feel like Grouch was a huge motivation for this because he was so willing to step up and actually start talking. And I feel like that has also kind of not in the sense of rubbed off, but like has motivated other developers and other teams to also speak their.
I agree. Well, I mean, if you look at like Final Fantasy when they were kind of getting crushed by the WoW refugees as the game collapsed under the scandal, and they couldn't pull up servers fast enough, and they just came out and they apologized. They were completely honest. We've got this, we're trying to do it, and they were just completely honest. And I think that let's face it, a lot of gaming companies are really, one, terrible at communication and rather cesspool-y. And when you have that kind of open, honest transparency, it does a hell of a lot to win people over. You know, it gives you a lot of leeway, and people will be very forgiving.
It kind of leaves the community cheering for you instead of trying to speculate what's going on under the hood that they're not telling us.
Yep, I agree.
Absolutely.
It gives them less room to assume that you're not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm liking what I'm hearing. Positive. I think sorry, go on.
Oh, just another positive to point out really quick, that weapon skin set that they're showing. They want to make those specifically rewards for participating in the betas.
Yeah, so it's
Which
not even
is-
just Wild World, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that is cool.
It kind of reminds me of pre-Guild Wars 2 days where we got the little hat,
Mhm.
participated in. That was so cool. I still have
Yeah,
it.
I did do that, and I lost it when the wardrobe changes.
You could actually contact the support team. I got mine back.
What?
Yeah, contact support team and tell them you were part of the beta, that you used to have your hat but lost it prior to wardrobe, and I got it immediately.
Nice.
Damn.
Not looking at this right now, doing
Yeah,
it at all.
I saw you click out of the preview there.
Submitting ticket right now.
Submit a ticket. Can I get my hat, please? Is the title of that one. What is it? Game support? Game support, right?
Yeah, just go to the support ticket.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guild Wars 2. What kind of gameplay issue are you having? Trading post, gem store, crafting, Mystic Forge, instance, item rewards. Oh yeah, subjects. Missing hat. Description. What was your description that you put? I'm doing it right now. I don't care.
I just said I was like a beta player from 2012, lost hat, and then just state that you're a beta player and you were made aware that that you could possibly get the hat back. I lost my hat because of I'd lost it before the wardrobe issue, and then just let them know that you would like to try and get it back.
Okay, I know I lost the hat during the wardrobe. This is important. Transition.
Well, it is. It
Yeah.
is.
Could I get the hat, please? Question mark. Thank you.
I miss my hat.
Thank you. I
a great
miss the hat. I've written it. Okay. This is done. This is done now. We're doing it.
They ought to do an
XOXO,
actual
Yeah.
Right?
run of those hats, like a physical item.
Ooh.
There we go.
Oh yeah, that would be
Done
really
it.
cool. I would buy one.
Missing.
100%.
I'm not even joking. It just miss ticket 87 whatever. Missing hats. Amazing. I should have just done it. Okay. Right, cool. So the rest of the blog post actually is just them giving us all the stuff and all the things. Loads of looking about the UI, the guild leader creating an alliance path through, like the what do they call it? Flowchart of decisions, the UI, all that kind of stuff. There's no date. There's no information. Unfortunately, to me, that does give me the idea that that is not something which is coming very soon.
Possibly not this year even. They've got a lot on their plates though.
Yeah.
I think this is not going to be a this year thing at all. Maybe betas through the year.
I was hoping it would be one of those pre-Steam release things, but it might just be too much.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Steam's gonna be a lot too, because they have to
Yeah.
make sure that the base game is good to go, and then when they release it, yeah.
Yeah, they've got a lot on their plate.
Yeah.
They do.
We shall see how it goes. Right, we're going to go into the meaty bits now. It is the balance patch of balance patch of awesome, as they're saying in the.
I'm ready
Nowhere.
to cry.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Hi all, below's the profession balance section of the June 28 update notes. Oh, you know what I'm actually gonna do? The wiki notes are better. The wiki notes are always better. Okay, we'll see.
Share that link. I'd like to see it there then.
What's that? Sorry.
Just share the link when you find it.
Yes, I'm gonna pop it in the chat. So they actually, so this has always been a big pet peeve of mine. Maybe they're not actually done yet.
They did drop it just a little bit before we started.
Yeah.
Oh, they might not actually have it up on the wiki. Normally they do. Anyone in chat sees it anywhere? I thought that would have been out by now, actually. Release calendar, event timers, game updates. Let's have a look. Yeah, the latest is the 15th. Damn it. Oh well, it's okay. Fine. I prefer it on there. Wiki only puts it out once it's live. Oh, yeah, that's true, actually. It's just a preview. That's right. Yeah. Of course. Yeah, that's another thing. It's a preview as well. So it's not even like the thing.
It's still subject to change, isn't it?
Oh my God. So people are really losing their shit. But the thing is, it is out on the 28th. So I would say there's not going to be many changes
No.
between now and then. Maybe some numbers things. Anyway. This is June 28th. Game update notes. The full game update notes will be published next Tuesday, shortly before the update is live. If you're listening to this, you may be listening to this afterwards. So that's Tuesday, 28th of June. Profession skills, items, Rune of Sanctuary, the Rune. I don't care. We're just going to go to actual classes. Oh, General. This is important. Fury. Critical chance bonus increased from 20 to 25% in PvE only. Ooh.
Cool.
There you go. Adrenal mushrooms and Mistlog singularities now reset Ranger pet and Mechanist mech command skill cooldowns when used. That's a random one.
That's pretty random.
It's really random.
It never occurred to me that they didn't, which tells you how often I play either of those.
Yeah.
I play a mech and I have never noticed.
Well, that's the thing. I never noticed either. I'm like, well, actually, maybe I haven't used them since. Okay. This may take a bit, so I'm going to try and pick out the most important things if I possibly can, but actually maybe it won't be that bad. Fiery Greatsword, clarified the skill fact for lesser. Right, no. Okay, Conjured Earth Shield. Flipping Boots loves that weapon. There's some cooldown reductions. Increased cooldown from 8 to 12 seconds in PvP, 12 to 15 for Magnetic Surge. Okay. Oh, there we go. Here's a big one. Air. Zephyr's speed now additionally increases critical chance by 5% while attuned to air. There you go. The Fury skill, Raging Storm. This now applies to up to 5 allied targets within a range of 360. Increased internal cooldown to 8 seconds.
Nice.
That's a big thing. That's a big... Fury sharing is very big and important. Some PvP start, World v World staff changes. Trying to find the big ones here. There we go. Tempest. So Tempest is the one where you've got Alacrity. So Lucid Singularity. This trait has been reworked and now applies Alacrity to nearby allies upon successfully completing an overload. Duration is now 6 seconds with a radius of 360. Was that a sigh or was that like just you yawning?
That was it's 10:30 here, and I've been up since 7:30, so please forgive me.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't your commentary.
I was like, what?
I'm riveted. Please continue.
You're not
I do
riveted.
apologize. I need to step away for a moment.
That's okay. It's okay. And this is the thing. I was like, is this going to be something that maybe we're not massively? I'm very interested. I know we're interested in it, but like going through it is a bit of a painstaking, fun thing, which I might reserve for the weekend. But just quickly while we're here, because we got
I'm here for it. I'm here for it genuinely.
Oh, okay. They've got some catalyst changes. I'm not really that fay with catalyst though. That's the thing. My brain is like not here for it right now. Anyway, they did some hammer changes. I don't care. Does anyone else care? Sorry. Obviously people care, but I'm just like, I'm looking at the main changes, the big ones, and obviously engineer because that's what I play.
I usually only look at the ones that I play.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? But I did, for PvP, I would very much go through every single one. I almost made videos for all balance patch notes. I'll be doing a video for engineer patch node changes because, oh my god, there are so many. Okay.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. There's a few for the catalyst as well, which is not too bad. Spectacular Sphere. This trait now increases the radius of deployed J sphere by... Oh, okay, that's cool. Anyway, let's go to engineer. Blah. Rifle. Hip shot has been replaced with rifle burst. Oh yeah, they're changing rifle on engineer quite considerably. This is cool. Quick burst of fire that pierces targets, followed by an explosive grenade. What? They're like changing the weapon completely. Rifle was
Wait,
fine.
where is this?
Huh?
Sorry, just sat back down and I hear a grenade.
Yeah, we're on engineer. They're replacing hip shot, which is hip shot is just right click, isn't it? And blunderbuss is the third skill. Sorry. Rifle burst delivers a quick burst. Okay, that's quite cool. They've actually increased the damage of that as well. Isn't hip shot the first skill? Isn't it just a normal? Oh, it was. It's just the.
I don't know rifle engineer yet. I only do mech. Mech healing.
Yeah, I'm just checking hip shot. I'm pretty sure it's just the first skill. Yeah. Okay, interesting. They're giving it a grenade, so they're giving it an explosion. Oh, that's weird. That's ridiculous. Sorry. It says explosive grenade. So basically, the reason why I'm excited is that the explosives line has a big interaction with explosives, and there's loads of stuff you can do with explosives, like healing and more damage and stuff like that. So that's pretty big, actually. Net shot moved from second to third rifle sequence. Immobilization duration increased from 2 seconds to 4 seconds of PvE only. Blunderbuss moved from third to second. Now additionally applies might. What? The rifle's gonna give might? What are you talking about?
This could be part of they're spreading the load in the raids, you know.
Yeah.
But then it's giving. But look at this. Look at this. This is actually very cool. Might now additionally applies might to up to 5 allied targets on a weapon. Does that happen? Is that happened on any other weapon in the game?
Not that I know of. Warrior is banners.
I mean, other than like Warhorn and stuff, it doesn't give it to like.
Is this why warriors are crying?
No, I don't.
Because they have to share.
Yes, they're sharing their toys.
I mean, it's okay with me because if I can get out of warrior jail, it's all good.
Interesting. That's really cool. I mean, you can get these stats on other weapons, but not like I'm thinking about like a very physical, like this is a gun, like, you know, like giving these offensive buffs. I think that's really awesome. Okay, anyway.
There's going to be more of that throughout.
Yeah. My applied is 5 stacks for 8 seconds in PvE, 3 stacks for 5 seconds in PvP. And the cooldown reduced as well. Okay. Jump shot maximum range increased from 800 to 900. Nice, thank you. The launch blast is now an explosion. Oh, engineers. I flipping love it. Sorry, this is really good. This is awesome.
Don't apologize, you're excited. It's
Maybe there's some hope for your game type, 7-. Yeah. Maybe you can do some group content now that banners are getting bitched.
Wow. Whoa.
Warrior jail has been hasn't been a thing since like 2015.
Yeah, absolutely. Utility frame mine, reduced number of booms, removed from 3 to 2 and world only. Firearms, magic focus, critical chance increased. Wow, okay. From 10% to 15%, that's PvE only. Pinpoint distribution, this trait has been reworked. It now grants might to allies while in combat. In pinpoint distribution, I think it was the condition. I would have to recheck this names. I think this was a big sharing of condition damage or something. I'm going to just try and have a look. I can't remember. Yeah, increased condition damage to yourself or ally and nearby allies. So they're replacing those traits where you just like you increase a condition damage or power or something stat to allies. They're just now going for boons. Like it's just all about the boons. That's good because normally not that many engineers took that anyway, but that's cool.
You think they're trying to make it more straightforward, less complex with the
a bit, and also so that you just don't have to take like specific traits like and lines to be just like I've got this one thing now and I'm cool, like spot or exact and other things like that, you know. It's like otherwise some of the other stuff in the line is just not, you know, there's not much point. That line specifically though, you know, firearms is pretty big for damage for engineers, so you'd take it anyway. But
so they're trying to encourage like build diversity.
Could argue that
Maybe?
this trait specifically isn't, because not many people use pinpoint distribution as far as I remember. But now it will force them into it probably, unless there's other might peeps. But if there is more classes able to do this in the lines which were more relevant for their builds, then you could argue that, you know, yes, there is more build diversity potentially. Really just depends.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, what else is there? Inventions, medical dispersion field. This trait now stores self-applied healing. Oh, well, that's a little bit more in depth. We'll look at that later. There is a lot of mechanist changes.
Oh boy.
Oh, good lord. The mech's defiance bar is now locked, so there's no longer susceptible to control effects in PvE. Oh, but it can be in PvE in World v World. That's actually pretty good. Mech arms chain cannons now additionally increases the mech's base critical damage from. Oh, okay.
That's a
What?
huge increase.
That's what? What? Why?
They were already overpowered a little bit on power mech. What?
Now additionally increases the mech's base critical chance from 5% to 25% in PvE.
I'm surprised they didn't nerf.
Damn.
I mean, we have the rest of the posting.
Only PvE though. That's good.
Sure.
It might change. They might later change what crits mean for the mech.
That's true.
That's a good point.
How it scales as well, maybe. If explosives is traded with aim-assisted rocket, the mech also gains the effect of the trait. Oh shoot! No way!
Wow.
What? They get their own aim-assisted rocket? Is that what that means? That's so cool!
I like that.
That is
That a lot.
awesome.
Wow.
They get a little rocket that pops out, and it's just like, whee! Engineer's getting some fucking sick changes. Discharge array, the mech command skill is now cast instantly, confusion duration per hit, blah. Yay. When you press the button, the thing happens. Cool.
Yay.
When using mech command skill, most other mech command buttons display a cooldown equal to the casting time of the mech command being used to properly indicate the time. Yeah, cool. Spark revolver damage increased by 10%. Rocket fist prototype stun duration increases from 0.5 seconds to 1 second. If that's in PvE as what PvP as well, that's pretty strong. Okay, I'm gonna go. What class do you play, Harold? I can't remember.
So for raiding, I play a healing support druid. For everything else, I generally try and face roll on my necromancer. I prefer the
Good choice.
Reaper for the lols.
For the
But
major
I-
face rolling.
But I do have a mechanist called Ebenosser. I might have to dust him off and have a play.
Oh, mech is so much fun. I love healing.
Yeah.
It's so much
That's
fun.
probably what I'm gonna do tomorrow. Okay, we'll skip. There's a lot of good changes in there for mech and rifle.
Can we use a mech underwater? Please tell me we can use a mech underwater. I don't see anything though.
No. That I am. When that first happened, and I was like looking, I went underwater with the turtle or something that came out. I was like, wow, I'm a mechanist. And that means nothing underwater. Like it literally is just all you get is that ability to like rain down, like a Sky Circus where they just rain down big projectiles every so often. And I'm like,
I went into
oh god,
it was the underwater fractal, and
Yeah.
I was healing. I'm like, I can't do any healing.
oh
no.
crap, yeah, you'd have to be like Scrapper underwater, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like you would have, you can use some of the heals, like it's still there, but it's completely limited.
Welcome new peeps in chat as well. Yes, we're gonna get to the Revenant and other things. Yes, pardon me. There was a comment as well. As a warrior who is extremely casual, I avoided group content because I didn't want to deal with banners. Oh, there you go. That's cool. We'll get to that. Okay, Guardian, big things. Valor. Strength in numbers. This trait has been reworked and now grants protection because that was granting toughness before. I didn't even need to look at that because I remember it. And I bet I got that wrong. Radiance, amplified wrath, burning damage increase reduced from 15% to 10% in PvE only. Boo.
They got nerfed.
I don't get that. That's PvE. Who cares? Was it doing that much? I don't know. Okay, we'll go to signets. Oh, they said the signets on Guardian were a big change, didn't they? I think so. I mentioned that.
Yeah, looks like it.
Signet Resolve decreased the passive effect internal cooldown from 10 seconds to 5 seconds. Whoa, isn't that the... This effect will now protect the player from an incoming condition by immediately removing it, and then it begins its internal cooldown. The active effect now additionally removes 2 conditions from the player. That's a pretty big buff for that Signet, honestly. Signet of Mercy, it is a bit tasty. Is Signet of Mercy... Courage is the res. What? Isn't it? Or is this? I need to remember what this is.
I need to have more windows open.
Yeah, I'm getting them open now. Guardian, girls too. Anyone in chat, you're welcome to, but I can't see the windows right now, so I can't remember numbers.
It's reducing the radius.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Mercy is the res. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so Mercy.
It's been too long.
Yeah, I remember what they look like. It looks like a W, which is weird. But yeah, they're reducing it from 90 to 50 in PvE only. So I don't know if people use that in PvE content that much, but that might make them use it more. I don't know. You'd probably just want people to not go down, I guess. Signet of Wrath immobile duration increased. Signet of Courage, which is the elite, right? So reduced from 90 to 60 seconds. Active effective radius reduced from 1,200 to 600. Now heals for a smaller amount of 5 small channel heal pulses, followed by 1 large heal.
Side note, it's actually not a W, it's a harp. I just zoomed in on it.
Oh yeah, there's no way I'd know that.
I just zoomed in on it. I had to
I can barely make out the shape that it actually looks like a W in the first place, let alone anything else for sure. My eyesight is bad.
I went to the opticians a couple of days ago for the first time since the pandemic started.
All right. How'd that go?
Fucking expensive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's expensive over here as well. But the thing is, you need insurance over here for everything. So you're already paying insurance. So I'm already paying like whatever it is a month to make sure that, just in case I need that thing. That's what America is. Just in case. It's land of the free, home of the just in case.
So true.
And also the first bit is bollocks as well. Yeah. So the home of the whatever you want to say. Okay, so Firebrand, Mentor of Solace, no one cares. Willbender, wow, what? Oh, that's disappointing.
PvP only.
Well, effect. Right now, the most overpowered class in PvP is Willbender. And that's the change. Oh, that's not good. That is not good.
Do you feel like it needs more change? Because I don't PvP at all. I don't know if it's the damage spec of Willbender, and it's just the damage was ridiculous, but the sustain is also ridiculous. Flowing Resolve, I think, is part of the problem, but not the only problem. Not enough to really shift it. I don't think so.
For listeners who aren't watching, what change did I miss you telling me what the change was?
So the change is Willbender Flowing Resolve reduced ammunition count from 2 to 1. I'll tell you what it does. So it is pretty big. So it's a virtue that removes conditions and you gain Flowing Resolve when you hit the second thingamajig. I'm going to go into the WvW PvE version. So it gives you a big heal. It does remove, immobilize, cripple, chill, as well as maximum conditions 2. You also get a 3/4 of a second evade as well. So it's actually a pretty big change, I guess, because it's not actually going to have ammunition on it anymore. It's just, I guess technically it has an ammunition of 1, but it's just 1 charge of it. So that was responsible for a lot of the survivability, but I suspect there is still still some things they can do there. But they may just be going slow. We'll see. We'll see. It looks like Virtuoso they're fairly happy with. Quiet intensity, bonus critical chance from Fury increased from 10% because they just seem to be increasing Fury on classes, all of them. Blade Song, sorry, bleed on hit removed, okay. Is there anything major there? Is the moment increased, blah. Oh, there you go. Tides of Time on shield. Cooldown reduced from 40 seconds to 35. Okay. I'm not... Anyone here a massive Mesmer player?
I keep meaning to get back to mine.
Okay. It doesn't look like there's
really,
a huge...
I only pull her out for portals.
Yeah. It doesn't look like there's a... There could be some major changes there. Not a massive Mesmer player, and obviously, like, there's just not a lot of notes there, so I'm just gonna go over here. But this Well of Recall, renamed Well of Senility? Okay. Now removes 2 boons. 2 boons. Oh, the enemy of Necromancer.
Important which ones?
Yeah, that's true. The smallest bone in the ear. Oh, okay. Doesn't provide alacrity to allies. Wait, what?
Huh.
Now removes 2 boons from enemy targets on the final pulse instead of providing alacrity.
No. That's mean.
That's weird.
So silly niche use. That's actually key to a portal elemental or to a portal mesmer build. Is you need that one to help recharge your portal fast enough. So we're probably just going to see like 4 mesmers at the top of a jumping puzzle instead of just 2.
That's fair. Yeah, I thought that was pretty big for like interesting. So no more alacrity there. Okay.
Oh god.
Necromancer. Here you go. Whale of Doom. The skill now inflicts 1 second of Varus and 2 seconds of daze on enemies. The skill now inflicts bonus defiance, but Whale of Doom, is that the I need to remember which skill that is. Whale of Doom, which number that is. Oh, it's 4 skill, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, because it was just a daze interrupt. Right, okay. Wait, what? No!
Yeah.
That's boring. Is it fair now? Why? What's the point? Who cares? Like a 1 second fear?
Defiance bar possibly help to crush that.
Maybe.
Yeah, there wasn't much.
I mean, that's the main boss of PvE, isn't it? The Defiance bar.
It would work quite cool with the fear trait for Necro, where you do damage on fear, I guess.
Yeah.
In PvP as well. Yeah, that's weird. Locust Swap. This skill now heals nearby allies around the Necromancer based on the number of enemies hit in addition to its previous effects.
Nice.
What?
That's nice. That's
That's pretty interesting. Yeah, because it used to just grant life siphon and swiftness. Okay. I kind of like that actually. Yeah.
Someone. Is it Mighty Teapot that's always going on about his necro healer? He'll be very happy about that one.
Yeah. He's with the healing build and stuff. Yeah, that's true. You okay with that?
I'm fine. I'm just we'll see.
Oh, okay.
I just anything to do with defiance bars breaking, I'm very happy because I don't know. I seem to struggle with those. So
it's been actually really interesting because I've been trying to go back and dust off some old characters and revisit some classes I haven't played in ages, and it's been really frustrating. I'm blanking on which one it was, but I was testing one out last night. I don't have a single Defiance Break skill on it, like at all.
Yeah.
With the current build I was using.
That's fair. Like you may need. It's like raids and stuff. You just pull in random things you never use. It's like Engineer when I'm playing versus Samurog. I pull out like the Battering Ram and stuff. It's like, pardon me, emergency. I don't need that much damage for this because it's not that difficult. I just need the CZ. Okay. This is actually a really huge one for PvP because this is corrosive poison cloud is a projectile destructive field. And I play core grenade engineer right now, and necros are using this all the time. So I feel like 8 seconds I can't use my grenades or my rifle, and like core engineer is all projectiles. So it's just like cool. I just can't play the game for 8 seconds. Like that's great.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy about that. Sorry, necros. Soul Reaping, Death Perception. This trait now gives 10% critical chance regardless of whether the Necromancer is in Shroud. Oh, really? This trait now increases critical damage by 15% instead of increasing ferocity. So not increasing those stats, more giving you the boons. But they're trying to get rid of that so hard. I'm just going to go and have a look at Death Perception.
Yeah, you have to reserve judgment. Some of this stuff you're gonna have to suck and see, aren't you? You just play it and see how
What
it
is
like,
that?
rolls out.
What's that? There's that sweet. Is that suck 'em and see? What's it called? Lockets. Is it lockets?
God knows. It's just stuck in my brain.
Yeah, it's like an English ad. Don't worry, everyone. Blood magic. Blood bank now also converts incoming healing from healing over time effects such as regeneration into barrier. Ooh, this effect now only occurs while in combat. To account the healing over time effects now activating this trait, the percentage of incoming healing converted to barrier has been reduced from 15 to 10% PvE. Oh, okay. Not much then. Actually could be big. There's Reaper. Look, there's Reaper changes. Nightfall reduces cooldown from 25 to 20 seconds. I can't remember abilities. This is why I'm like really want them to change, just because I can't. Reading is hard. But also, like
I know what the pictures look like. If you could give
exactly.
me
Yeah, but that's it. That's why I like the wiki notes the best. Like on patch day, I always go to the wiki notes because they have the picture, but they also have the link to the ability on the wiki, and then you can see the changes that have happened over time. Because if I go to Nightfall, I can look at the different patches and where the changes are coming. Like I can see the changes. The first change was on October 23rd, 2015, for example. Like that is just there's so much useful information here. It just annoys me that companies still have crappy patch notes and they just run it out. Anyway.
Much love to the people who maintain the wiki. You do the Lord's work. You really do, and we love you forever.
This is like why amazing. I go on the wiki so much for these notes. They're just awesome and how they should all be done. But hey ho.
Honestly, far better than Wowhead. Just superior. Anyway, carry on. Shots fired. Yeah.
Are they fired? Yes, fourth skill on Reaper Shroud. So cooldown a glowing column of shadows that damages and conditions foes every pulse. Okay. I am going to have a look. Grasping Darkness, reduce cooldown 20. Okay. Your Soul is Mine, increased base heal from 4. Ooh. Wait, what? What's the Your Soul is Mine ability? Yeah, because Nightfall is the Greatsword 4 skill.
It's a shout. It's one of the shouts.
No, well, Nightfall is just a Greatsword skill. Are you talking about Your Soul is Mine?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, sorry. I need to look at the actual thingamajig. I don't use them as much as I used to. PvP I like playing Shout Reaper actually. That's quite cool. Oh yeah, that's the pure heal. Okay. Ooh. That's really good. I wonder if they were trying to encourage... What? Reaper is so strong though. Why are you increasing their heal? Stop it! Sorry.
But they did say that they're pushing for more people to be able to get into support. They're kind of trying to broaden the field.
I guess, but like Necro... Reaper isn't really support. This is more of a single target heal. This is their own heal, right?
Self, yeah.
Yeah, so it's
is it only self?
Yeah, this is only self. Yeah.
Is it one that you can trait to share healing?
Yeah. Question.
I don't think so.
Okay.
As far as I remember, Reaper is all about
literally
damage.
what they. Yeah, but that's literally what they were saying. They were trying to spread the support out across the raid so that the support weren't unduly burdened, keeping everyone,
Well, this
alive and
is a
hyped.
World v World
Yeah.
and PvP specific change as well.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Scratch all that.
Yeah,
Scratch
sorry.
everything I just said.
Context.
Yeah.
So that is a big boon, big buff, big buff to Reaper. To be fair, that is huge. Flipping hell, good lord.
Big dick. Big dick.
Yeah, if you want to say that. You are all weaklings. Increased weakness duration from 3 seconds to 5 seconds PvP buff again in World v World. Chills with bone.
Another buff.
That is massive. Chill to the Bone was a massive ability back in the day, and could bring Reaper back. Like that's 60-second cooldown. You can he's got a bit of a cast time as well, and you can see when people do it, like they do this kind of motion, the standard model, and you can fake people out, and like I love doing that, and the fact that you can use it more by 15 seconds is pretty important. Harbinger elixirs now use normal projectile targeting underwater instead of using ground targeting. Oh, what?
Yes.
That's weird. That was a thing.
It was, yeah. It was weird.
Why?
Yeah.
Ground targeting underwater?
It was. Yes. Anyways.
So balked. Okay.
So weird. There were a lot of those odd things, especially underwater with the new specs, because the new elites. It's like they just kind of forgot that you fight underwater sometimes.
Yeah, I know we don't fight underwater a lot, but you know, Elixir of Ambition could be a big one actually for PvP. Is that the elite? Yeah, that's the elite. So at the moment, you gain all boons for base duration 5 seconds, and it says Elixir of Ambition reduce might stacks from 25 to 10 in PvP only. Yes, that's good. Cool. Okay, Ranger. I know, chat. Ranger spirits. Everyone's gone quiet now because it's balance time, and everyone's just like wait until their class comes up, and then they'll start talking. I know this is like, I get excited about balance is like my real big thing, so I get that, you know, this might not be interesting for everyone. But this Ranger Spirits is a big thing. So Spirit skills now affect 5 allied targets. Cool. Spirits no longer apply effects when an ally in the radius strikes an enemy. Instead, each spirit applies a boon to allied targets in the radius of each 3-second interval. Nature's Vengeance trait increases the base duration of these boons by 50% and causes Spirit's activated skills to apply alacrity to allies in an area. So now Druid gets alacrity. There we go.
So when they were talking about like bringing more alacrity in the previous post, I thought that the Mesmer and Chronomancer were going to get more.
Oh God! Well, they took it away from Chrono a bit, right? And they've given it. They were like,
back.
I didn't realize that Ranger was going to get alacrity. I thought it was just Ellie. So they've now got alacrity on Ranger as well as the applied boons are going to be regeneration for Water Spirit, obviously Vigor for Sun, Fury for Storm, Stone Spirit Protection, rather than the increase of like condition damage. And what does it do now? Actually, I need to remember. I played Druid as well, but it's been a while.
How to get your boon duration armor.
Right. Ritualist armor as well for Condi damage. Maybe you can go rock that Condi healing thingamajig. Is it Ritualist? No, it's not Ritualist. My bad. Oh yeah, so now at the moment it does apply burning upon striking a foe. Sun Spirit, for example, when you do burning for condition damage. But then are they going to add... So they're taking away the burning upon striking and giving you a boon, right? Yeah, no longer apply effects when an ally in the radius hits an enemy. Okay. Yeah, so that apply burning when you hit someone is taken away, and that means that burning stack is gone as well. So it's just a boon. Ooh, what do we think about that?
Have to see how the spreadsheets fold out, won't we? I mean,
I feel like you can use that answer for so many questions in this.
But really, it does come down to like I'll read all this and I'll see numbers and
Yeah.
but then it has to like how does it actually feel
Yeah.
when I'm playing it? How accurate
Really
is
grand a picture.
I mean, this specific thing, like giving alacrity to druids, is a pretty big change. Like it's a massive change. Like the spirit changes in general. You're talking about giving boons instead of giving like random bonuses to damage, etc.
Yeah, I guess I just don't know whether I'm going to like it until I know how it's playing with the other people in my party. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it certainly has the potential to increase output in all areas because they're boons. It's not just a burn. It's not just. It's kind of generalizing stuff, which I feel will help the overall kind of like lift the support, make it easier as well, possibly.
Okay, fair play. Chat, what do you think? Let us know as well how you feel. Okay, Beast Mastery Pack Alpha fixed an issue. Don't care.
I guess the other thing that's going on is they do. I wonder if they're trying to move again because they started to drift into the Holy Trinity a bit more, and I wonder if they're trying to spread out the boons, spread out these effects so that we're not so hard locked into. There's a lot of people who are like, "Yay, I'm out of this jail."
Yeah, I
And
noticed that too. We did drift a lot towards the Holy Trinity. Glad that they're coming back to the balance.
So I wonder if that's like a big part of this.
Could be.
I mean, I like the Trinity. You can do a lot with the Trinity. You can have really interesting, dynamic raid encounters with the Trinity. I don't hate on it. The fact that they want to go a different direction, but you still need to have someone who's focused, targeted, and someone who's supporting, and someone who's healing. If you want to have a bit of wiggle room in those so that there's more diversity of gameplay, that's fine. But I mean, it's still there.
The roles are still there, but you're less locked into the class that has to do it. Is what I feel they're trying to do. I could be totally off base though, because I am not a build crafter.
I think you're right because I mean, certain people can only do certain buffs. So having other people be able to do those certain things makes it so that you have more of a difference in your composition.
Because it's like I can be, I'm happy being the healer, but what I've understood is they've always tried to avoid saying if you want to be a healer, you have to play this class.
Truth. Okay, sorry. I'm really hungry for a second.
You saw me run. We have this problem with our AC right now where randomly you'll run the air conditioning for like an hour and it'll just start smelling like feet, like overwhelmingly horribly. Flip a switch and it's. So I went down to turn off the AC and I just grabbed like snacks, every snack I walked by off the counter.
Around 2:00 I always have like a granola bar, so I'm late by an hour.
Podcasting is hungry work.
Life is hungry work. I like food. Just try to eat a little bit healthier than I normally do, says the guy who ate like 3 bowls of thingy puffs last night. Whilst watching Snowpiercer, which is very good. Anyway.
I've seen that.
Umbrella Academy for me, I just binged it all. Anyway.
That's out now as well.
I gotta see that.
So good.
Gotta watch it.
So good.
Umbrella Academy, yeah.
Yeah.
That is damn good.
I am behind.
Get in front! I don't know. Okay, so skirmishing. So they changed Spotter to give everyone Fury rather than what it had before, which we knew. Okay, bonus damage, etc. There's loads of cool fun stuff. That was the major change there with the spirits. Crystal Land might applied on activation, reduced to 1 stack for 10-second duration PV only. There is lots of important changes there. Lift of Unity, Celestial Avatar, healing of tethered allies may occur. Okay. Untamed doesn't look shit anymore. Sorry. Sorry.
Are they changing the visual effect yet?
No, exactly, that's what I mean. Like, doesn't look like actual poop. Like, why is it green? I know a range is green,
they
like
need to
that's
do
a
is
color, but
Change the shade of green because they wanted it to look like jade infused, at least I thought, but they missed the color.
yeah, it's weird.
I have a confession. I've unlocked that. I've never built a spec with it. Never tried it. Absolutely, yeah, no appeal.
I honestly can't, partly because of the visual look of them. I am that person.
Yeah, one morph pack and nerf as well, that's right.
So Hulk is
Well,
not your
if you don't
favorite
like how something
Avenger.
looks, kind of dogs it down on you.
Hulk's amazing.
Hulk's a great color. The Untamed pets are not a great color.
Yeah, we've had some in-depth conversations about our thoughts on Untamed. Pardon me, Ranger Pets, Poisonous Maul, Juvenile Morello. Fix an issue, no one cares. Okay, Revenant. Anyone play Revenant here quite heavily?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to tell me how good these things are.
We'll see.
I know rough things. Ancient Echo now grants regeneration instead of alacrity. Okay. Interesting.
Legendary Centaur stance, that is healing.
Yeah. Rejuvenating Assault. I can't remember which one that is.
Is that no?
I think that's still Centaur stance.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go have a look at the ability. Oh no! When I see the icon, yeah. Okay, stuff. It's just stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. What does it do now?
Stuff skill.
Oh, that's good. You know what with Rev, I really don't like the healing orbs. I think they suck. They just suck. They look. Who wants to go and grab a flipping orb? Just give me some AOE. Like, give me an AOE with the value of the flipping orbs. Who cares about the little orbs? They were trying to be unique with it.
When you're first starting out with the class, it looks cool. It looks like you're doing something. It shows you're healing on the field. It's fun. But in practicality, it's
just
especially if you're doing
wasted.
mechanics and can't run out there. Yeah.
I have a question. So
No, 7. 4,
are
2.
they... Bitch.
Sorry.
It's a serious question. Fine.
No, go on. Sorry. It was just funny the way you said it. Go on.
Are the balls... Okay, I'm trying to think how to phrase this.
Wow, I like how you said this is a serious question, and then you say, "Are the balls?
Are the spheres? There we go.
Okay.
Are the spheres easy to see in encounters, or do they get lost in the visual noise?
I think they get lost.
They get lost.
They get lost. Yeah.
When you're in like when you're in a party, they're very easy to see. But any more than that, the skill effects they're gone.
Especially in heavy mechanics like raids and stuff, yeah.
So the balls are swallowed. Oh dear.
Thank you very much. There was the seriousness of that question coming out. A segue. I don't know what a segue to balls.
We were all part of your setup there.
Where are we segueing to, Malcolmist? I mean,
I guess it depends on what you how you feel. If you like segues to balls, that's whatever floats your boat.
Not on this podcast, maybe. Maybe the Darkbringers podcast, which
that was a serious question, though. I just didn't think about the balls, and then the balls were there, so I had to talk about the balls. So that was that.
That's fair enough.
There you go. We can move on now.
So the Devastation Assassin's Presence trait has also been reworked. It grants Fury to allies while in combat, applying Fury with a 3-second duration in a 10-second interval. So again, adding Fury in the traits rather than the stats increase. To the player and the people around them. What are you doing?
Chat. Just chat.
Segways are easier on the balls than bikes. That is true. Well, really? Are you sure? Segways wheels are pretty big.
Sorry. Well played, sir. That was quite good. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I mean, one, you're definitely not riding up against
We're talking about using it as a mode of transportation, and Jebro's talking about using it as a weapon.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, I thought segways are like a danger to your kneecaps rather than your testicles. Yes.
I guess it depends on
I think Obi's talking about balls. Like, Obi's definitely talking about balls. And like segways. Have you ridden a segway before? They are literally satanic. Well, which is good, but like,
Only if you fall.
yeah, they are hard work.
Don't they like burst into flames at random intervals? Am I thinking of a different
Are we
thing?
talking about balls or are we talking about segways? I can report the balls do not, in fact, randomly set on fire every so often.
That's
it. We're done.
Because that would be bad. That would not be good. Can you imagine the like amount of jeans you'd go through and shorts? You randomly in a cinema, there's like 10 people on fire. It's okay. Their balls are going again.
Just chair cushions.
Yeah, drop and roll. That's the fun one.
Drop and roll. Oh no. Now we're going to the whole ball dropping thing. Great.
Oh, hey,
great.
look, patch notes. Yes.
Great.
Yeah, look at these great patch notes right over here.
Absolute filth. Absolutely disgusting. Terrible. You never catch me talking about balls on fire.
Welcome back, D. You come back for the balls.
You did. Yeah. It's all about the balls. Revenant. Devastation. Yes. Legendary Centaur stance. After summoning Ventari's balls, the next legendary Centaur ball will be empowered. I'm going to replace ball. I'm going to have a ball in every single different thing. This occurs when entering balls. I mean, legendary Centaur stance, sorry. Or when using Protect Tranquility. I felt like this is going to be a really big change. Let's actually have a look at this. After summoning Ventari's tablet, the next legendary Sun Centaur skill will be empowered. That's pretty big. Natural harmony healing is increased. Purifying essence, additional conditions removed. Grant extra protection. So this could be a real thing. That's quite cool. Empowering like abilities on the tablet use. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Demon stance, some shit there. Salvation. Sorry. Healer's gift. This trait no longer creates a healing orb. See, a lot of this, again, like, I can't pick out things without looking up every single thing there and being like, boom, because Revenant is not my strongest thing. I'd have to look at it and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's a massive change. But otherwise, there's not much I can look there and be like, whoa, that's going to be a massive change, other than maybe Serene Rejuvenation. I
do know that the Demon stance is the stance you use for Condi damage.
Oh yeah, no, I know that
Boon
stuff. Yeah. But not like the specific traits and abilities, you know?
Yeah.
I'd have to see images to be like connect to it immediately, and I don't want to go through every single change because we've already been here for almost 2.5 hours. Okay. Try and find those big like really ridiculous changes.
Yes, Geek, actually, this is me being filtered.
Thief. I wonder if there was any. There was no big Spectre changes. Ultraverse and Dusk reduce Shadow Force gain from. Yeah, that's pretty good. Here is the warrior. Here's the one everyone's crying about. Tears of Doom.
No.
Tears of Doom for the warrior time. I will put that as a specific chapter. Warrior Tears. Warhorn. Sorry. Warhorn Charge. This skill no longer grants allies increased damage on their next 2 attacks. Instead, they grant 2 seconds of quickness. Cooldown increased from 15 seconds to 20 seconds. What? Swiftness duration increased.
Offhand a Warhorn.
Yeah. Does that mean that people are going to be forced into this?
Maybe.
Only 2 seconds of quickness, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like it.
What's the point? I mean, I know quickness is like, but like that's in PvE. No, that's across everything. Doesn't seem like much point. I don't know.
Maybe there's got to be more.
I mean, there's definitely more. Thankfully. Let's go. Okay,
Be right
banners. Cool. All right, we're going to put the ZZs on. All right, nice. Now we can talk about Crichton Herald being absolutely awful or awesome. We'll see. Banners no longer provide attribute bonuses to allies. Instead, quickness is granted to allies in the area when the warrior uses the banner skill, and then the banner will continue to pulse boons to nearby allies for the remainder of its duration. Each banner provides a different boon as follows. Banner of Defense gives you resistance for 1 second. Banner of Discipline gives you Fury. Strength gives you Might for 5 seconds. And Banner of Tactics gives you Regeneration for 1 second. Picking up a banner no longer reduces the recharge time of the skill. Instead, they can be carried around and dropped to reposition them. Picking up a banner does not grant the warrior additional skills, but they will continue to pulse their associated boons when picked up. The delay before you can pick up a dropped banner has been increased from 1 to 3 seconds.
Oh, so they're giving us back the ability to reposition it without having it be able to be picked up by anybody else, which is nice because I hated things being on cooldown.
Hey, am I like? Can you drop your banner and you pick it up and you carry it around? Now you have the AOE around you.
Yes.
Is that what I'm reading? Okay.
So can you just
And
literally
it won't
walk
give
around
you
and
skills, so you can
Yeah.
literally just walk around with it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess
I like
and then you just put it down.
Yeah, I like it.
So why put it down
Because
Again.
you won't have skills
as opposed
otherwise.
to just like?
Well, no, it says it won't give you any skills, so I
Yeah.
think you'll just carry it around.
Yeah. Because it's not like in PvE specifically, you just have the banners around you, right, while you're doing your damage and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be weird. What I would like actually would be a cool thing is that I think they could have done this different, because I think the banners being placed on the ground just sucks anyway. It's like spirits as well being stuck in a place. It doesn't make them mobile. In PvP and stuff, they used to walk around with you. But they nerfed that because petting zoo was a thing. It was in the first ever PvP tournament. And funnily enough, like, Druid was ridiculously overpowered in terms of a support spec, and this was back in 2012, early 2000, no, 2012, 13. Anyway, Josh Davis, who is the now the game director of Guild Wars 2, and Chap, who was a game designer at the time, literally were commentating this tournament, and they called it they called the Druid, it was Core Ranger, because Druid wasn't out, with the spirits, the petting zoo. And like, it was literally a meme of the entire tournament. It was like, the petting zoo's back. It's petting zoo versus petting zoo. Like, all this kind of stuff. And then they massively regretted like calling it that, because it really like didn't do them any favors. And it stuck, yeah. So, I mean, it's 2022 and I'm still talking about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Funny. You just have to have your regular weapon skills. Well, I actually think that if you were a warrior, potentially all these banners, you could put them up and it would come out of your back or something, like a little flag or something, and you would just have these banners on your back.
There's a whole bunch of back pieces that are basically you're a standard bearer with somebody's flag on your back.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It could have been something like that, rather than these things where you're just like.
Now the question is,
cool.
Can you pick up multiple ones and then walk away with it, or can you only pick up one at a time? Because if it's only one at a time, it's going to be really annoying.
That's what I was thinking. I know people stack and they don't move much, but I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends, like, what do people do now? They just place them over, like, it's probably fine. Whatever. Anyway, it's interesting.
I've missed most of this. Are warriors crying justifiably, or are they just being whiny?
I don't think we're there yet. I'm not sure. I'm trying to work it out.
Unless they're crying about the banners, I don't, yeah.
Yeah, pick up a banner no longer reduces the recharge time. Okay. So all banners except battle standard recharge time reduced from 80 to 60 seconds. Okay, that sounds like a good thing. Battle standard recharge time reduced from 180 to 120. Oh, no. That's good. What? But like in PvP, that's really bad. I'm hoping that they haven't done that in PvP. Because otherwise Warrior's well and truly back in.
Doesn't specify.
That elite will come back then. Okay. Oh, but they changed this. Reduced base duration of pulsing boons applied by this banner as follows. Might reduce from 10 seconds to 5 seconds. Fury reduced from 3 to... That's probably where they're having a little bit of trouble.
Obsidian just posted an interesting question in the chat, actually.
I don't think it would, because previously, if you do pick up your banner while healing someone, it does mess up with the boons because it's gone. But now you'll be picking up the banner, it'll be going like, I don't know if it's gonna be.
You'll still be giving
it's gonna be in. You're gonna be giving the boon still, and then you can just replace it back down. I think that's a really good change for rezzing, because I do remember cursing because shit, I just used a banner while rezzing someone.
That would hurt.
Yeah.
So the question was, will accidentally picking up banners whilst trying to res someone mess up the boons? That was the question.
So I think that would be a no, because you would be picking up the banner and it would still be pulsing the boon.
Yeah, but they will continue to pulse their associated boons when picked up.
Yeah. Yep. So when you call the ability, that's it. It just does the thing. It's doing. It's not going to be interrupted by anything.
I play Enhancements Shaman, actually. Glorious, I do.
Shaman.
It's a handy thing. Yep.
Oh, okay, yeah, there you go. That actually makes sense. Yeah, it would be nice if we can collect, like, had a button where it collect banners, place down banners. That'd be cool. Okay.
Maybe you get like a special action key. I could see that.
Either that, or it'll just like make the banner button look differently when you've picked it up and give you an option to place it back down.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Druids have that, don't they? Where they can basically summon their pets to them.
Yeah, so you can call it to you.
Yeah.
Doubled standards is the warrior banner trait, and it is basically unique banner effects applied to you are stronger and can affect up to 10 targets, gain swiftness. Okay. And now it's saying double standard. This trait now increases the duration of all boons applied by banners by 50%. I thought they'd stop doing shit like this, honestly. I don't like these traits very much because they're just things which they just say a thing lasts longer. Like it's just like, just build it into the actual ability. I don't do this because it's like, is it a major trait? Is it when you pick, or is it just in the line? I can't remember. Discipline.
Looks like it's. Wait.
Gloria is saying having them picked up would shut off the boon generation until you set them back down again.
I don't think that's what. I think they're changing that.
Double standards, I believe, is a trait.
It's a major, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There it is.
It's not a minor.
So you can mitigate that. You can, right.
Good. Our warrior's currently not sought after unless they use banners. Nah, you can play down. You can play warrior, whatever warrior you want. I don't care. It really depends, like, in terms of who you play with. Like, I would say all of this stuff, a lot of the people who are going to be complaining about this are the high end of the community, and maybe people who stream or create content for the game. Like, most people won't even read this or understand what it means, unless the only things they're going to see are the difference in visuals and maybe some tooltips and damage and stuff, like, and people who look up meta and stuff. I don't think this is going to be. I really don't think this is that bad.
So far, as a raider, I don't see very much that could cause people to cry.
I mean,
I don't think this will be the death of the banner bitch, though, will it? I mean, that's the.
No.
No, this is supposed to entice people to make it better, isn't it? Right? But I still don't think it's a fun thing to play. Like, it doesn't feel like it's a fun thing to. Like, if we're honest, how fun is playing banners? Like, how it's not still you still get a banner out and you put it on the ground.
DPS.
Yeah,
you
it's
do
just
mediocre DPS, and then you have banners that, it's not that fun.
It's weird. I don't know. They should have just got rid of him, to be fair, in my opinion. But hey. Okay, so longbow changes. Increased power, pin down, reduce cooldown from 20. Looks like they've.
If anything, with warriors, like, make it so that our DPS can be comparable to other DPS classes while providing boons. That'd be nice. But...
Okay. Okay. Elite skill change. Signet of rage clarified in the description. The percent. Okay, all of these Blade Sworn changes and tactics changes and stuff could be the reason, and I just not sure. We could look at some of the comments though, but we're pretty much at the end of that. Isn't there a class missing? I feel like there's something missing there.
We skipped over Thief a bit because it was.
Yeah, I'm not a big FIFA.
Yeah.
FIFA? I don't know. Okay. I think we've looked at it enough though. I'm fairly comfy with that because we're getting on to about 3 hours now.
Yeah, I think we have a pretty good idea of what's going on.
If you look at the emote reactions though, to the actual thing itself, I'm actually showing this, otherwise this would be very awkward. Yeah, I am. Okay,
Yeah,
so the reactions: confused 13, haha 15, sadness 8. There are no smiley fun faces. Thanks 2. There you go. There's 2 likes as well. There you go. It's not many. I'm wondering what people are thinking and feeling. We can see the names on the side, but I really don't care.
Dare you venture to Reddit? Dun, dun, dun.
Is Reddit bad? Have you looked at it?
It's always bad.
It's always
I know,
bad.
yeah.
There's just. It's
it
always
bad?
Remember that community I was
this?
talking about earlier? That's a very small subset of people that always complain about everything. They're
Yeah.
all on Reddit.
Okay, big warrior nerfs, people are saying. The thing I saw was a nerf to a rune I was saving up to get. Oh, okay. War exclamation mark warriors. Did you get your time machine? No one understands that. Can you hold with this patch warriors away for more serious off? Oh. Damn, okay. People sad about Catalyst. Oh god, and then people are being upset with the balance team as well. Maybe. Oh my god, someone posted the sad violin YouTube. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That's funny. Oh god.
I'm sorry. What's the sand violin?
The sad violin. You know, is it that one? I'll
okay,
play it, but I don't
yeah.
want to risk like being demonetized.
That's
You can play
fine.
15 seconds before it hits you.
Sorry. It's fine. It's fine. I know violin.
I know I can't actually play it because I haven't got the feed on, but go look at it later. It doesn't look great. It doesn't look like people are very happy. But like, you know, the internet is it is what it is.
Yeah, it's. Sorry, some of these memes are.
Yes. Maybe I'll have a look at. Maybe I'll just quickly dive onto Reddit just to see how people feel.
Oh no, you're jumping down the rabbit hole.
Good,
Don't do that.
y'all.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't it worth it a little tiny bit? It's worth seeing like how sad people
Some are
feel.
really funny.
Oh, you looking?
Just in general. Yes, sorry, I went there.
Nice. Okay, I'm gonna do it. We're going. Guild Wars 2. No.
It was at this time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Jesus.
Don't do it, Jebro.
Honestly, people need to just wait to reserve judgment. It's crazy.
Unsummoned patch notes, Fred. The game is better off without this balance patch. Ain't it? Please don't push it to live and just redo it.
Redo what?
Oh, it's got 500 upvotes. This is why the Reddit is just stupid.
I love
I'm just
when
like...
people say that, but offer nothing in a constructive criticism kind of way.
They
Please
just say,
don't.
I don't like
Anything.
this.
Please don't tell me this
That's
is a creator.
It probably is. I know a couple who are probably going to be jumping on that train.
That is absurd. It's just the title, though. It's just the title. Please redo it. No, please. Sorry, just redo it.
Oh my god.
Now, some of the when you get into the memes.
Oh, ANET is releasing the full
Sure.
balance. I'm going to show this on the stream, actually.
Oh no.
It's funny. It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
I feel like that this should be accompanied by a trigger warning or something.
Maybe.
You reverse to Reddit. Look away now.
Oh no, the cycle is eternal. Oh boy, I'm actually being useful. ArenaNet, how many times do we have to teach you this lesson of math? Oh no. Oh no, people are getting, there's a lot.
Reddit's being Reddit.
Yeah, this is real. Oh my god. They've got the guy from World of Warcraft who is like, talking about Diablo.
Oh my god.
Over a little ways down is this really amazing piece of art inspired by Dragonstorm.
Oh yeah, today, Tiri recreated by a medieval monk who spent only one day there. Nice. That is cool.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's awesome. Innocent sadistic bystander looking at balanced patch reactions.
That's us right now.
Oh my god, this one is so good. I seriously thought that after the patch I won't be able to decide on a new main.
That was me! I went from warrior to Engie. Oh my god.
Oh my god, this is actually funny. This is
That's
a
the one
good
that got me laughing.
That is a good one.
That is great.
That is good. Uh-oh. Oh, that person reposts that every patch. New upcoming Wilder, is it? Oh no. What's this one? My feelings after reading the patch notes. It's time to go? Oh, okay. There's a lot. I would actually go and check these out yourself if you're interested. I won't post this in the description because it's Reddit. But there are many tears going down. I have to pay a peer for the pure lols, I guess I will say, as everyone does the thing. But yeah, generally.
The great thing with Reddit is just don't take it seriously.
Yeah.
But some of their memes are pretty good.
Yeah, some of the memes are good. Some of the memes are funny. But honestly,
yeah,
people bandwagon as well. They really do. Like, there'll be some heads of the community, and like I guarantee you, most of the people won't have any clue of what they're talking about, and just
they'll listen. They'll listen to the big heads talk, and they're like, "Yeah, I totally agree with that." I don't know what you're saying, but I totally agree.
It's why you end up with so many of them saying, "Just undo it, it's bad," and not saying, "Why is it bad?"
Yeah, why
what
is
should
it
they
bad?
do instead?
Yeah, exactly. Give them constructive criticism. Instead they go out and say, "Oh, you should not be in game development," or even worse. I've seen some really terrible comments of the developers, which shouldn't be happening, but it does.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I'm definitely not in the doom and gloom place that many people. Sorry, not many people at all, but like 700 people or so, or whatever. Like the people who don't actually know what the hell's going on. They're just bandwagoning on random things and chat. But like, there could be some genuine stuff which is a cause to worry. But I think I would say, like, as a general player of games and MMORPGs, especially Guild Wars 2, a lot of people, including the pros who really think they know a lot about this game, often don't know much about the game until the balance actually comes out and they've played it for a while. Like, no bullshit. And like, people will be like, "Oh, Jebro, what are you talking about? We've been playing this game for ages." No. You are reading text on a page until that is in your hands. Maybe chill out and maybe think, this might not be great, but let's come up with some respectful feedback regarding this, rather than getting our whatever out of the cupboard and going ham on ArenaNet or other people or whatever. And just like, just people are silly. It's silly.
I agree.
But yeah, is anyone other than that, like, I think genuinely, like, there's a lot of stuff that's quite strong and awesome about the other news and patches that we got coming in the future. The information about World v World is promising. They've given us info and data and communication, which is important. Don't harass the devs.
Yes, that is very important.
True.
Don't do it.
Because
they're people just like us. They have a job to do. They're doing it for us. They're working night and day to get these things done for us.
And
The
like,
thing that just I I get so mad at is they will talk and act as if the devs should just be working.
yeah, for them.
They forget that this is a job. This is a company, it's a business, it's people doing their job. There's no deliberate animosity. They don't hate one class or another. They don't hate a group of players. But they'll go on this tirade about some dev and how they just hate this thing and they just work in this they just work here to make my life miserable, and just it's not personal. If there's something that is actually legitimately bad, it's not personal.
Yeah, if you think you are alone being targeted, I think you probably should maybe take a step back, breathe, and maybe take a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Go touch grass.
Yeah.
Get help.
You are not being singled out whatsoever. They're balancing the game so that the entire game can work together as a balanced unit. They're not trying to single one person out. If they did that, that'd be a little weird. It'd be really, really weird.
It's the main character mentality, isn't it?
Yep.
And that's often
not the case.
What leads people, at least that's the reasoning I've seen people to be attacking devs, is this weird main character syndrome where they're like, I am being targeted by this, so I am going to find my antagonist and I will take care of my antagonist by attacking them.
And the one thing too is like they're looking at each individual section of the balance patch and thinking, oh, this one section looks terrible and it's gonna break the other sections of this balance patch. They're not even looking at it as a group thing. They're only looking at the one thing, seeing that it's saying that they think it's terrible because it's being nerfed or whatever, and saying the entire balance patch is terrible. No, the balance patch is meant to balance everything together, not single out one class.
There were several points throughout, I mean, where we were reading and we're like, oh, this is a really weird change. Why would they do this? And then we're like, wait a minute, it probably plays into a different trait.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. God, I don't know. I mean, there are many, many things in this world to get really very annoyed about, genuinely. Balance patch ain't one of them.
Exactly.
Not even the worst balance patch in the world is worth harassing another human being about.
They could delete a class from the game, and yeah, sure, it'd be sad, but if you're gonna get angry, we got some things in the world right now that are really deserving of your anger.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Huge amount. Yeah.
I mean, the anger and feelings about things can get displaced quite easily. So, even though someone might be angry about one thing, they might put it into something else.
And maybe
I understand why people might be upset, and that's completely understandable. I just feel like the anger is often displaced and focused in the wrong areas.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's just never an excuse to abuse other people, the way that we see often in our game with devs. And
yeah, like I've seen people wish death on developers, and that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
That's just I can't even get into the headspace of somebody who would submit.
Unfortunately,
death to person.
I grew up around people who would, and it comes from this wild sense. I don't know. At least with the ones I have experience with, it is because they can't control so many things. So when they find themselves with something they can exert control over, whether it's hurting somebody or throwing a tantrum in general, it's their way of controlling something around their life, or at least blaming others. Like they'll say, I said it was all wrong, and blame that on somebody else.
So it's
I don't know.
Incredibly poor self-esteem.
Often.
Something too is this is the statement's not going to be meant that I'm calling you anyone a baby, but basically,
I will.
there's something that
I will absolutely do it. I will do it for you. Don't be a
Yes, do
baby.
it.
Grow the hell up. Think about being an
but-
adult and use your mind and your feelings. People have
exactly.
feelings in this world. Fucking treat them with respect. Like, it's a very childish, immature, a very low emotional level of emotional level of usage. It's like a child literally just yelling out that there's a thing they don't like and they're crying about it. It is a very young feeling. It is a baby feeling. It's just ridiculous. Like,
there's like this mentality, like especially as a kid, like,
Lord.
when you experience something that upsets you, it feels like the end of the world because you don't have like other experiences, or you're not aware of like what could be worse.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people are not able to see past this and realize it is not really that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And that it's not going to change the way that your life works, and not going to ruin your life because your class got changed a little bit.
Can I offer, if anyone is like struggling with, they feel like completely kind of like overwhelmed by their emotions, and they feel it's difficult, you feel like you're going to be swallowed by them, there are some like coping strategies that Jebro is probably more familiar with than I am. I suffer from ADHD, and I can feel very, very overwhelmed. And the thing that I've done, I can't give you advice, but the thing that works for me is I step back, I'll try and breathe through it. Like, breath work is incredibly good for kind of calming you down, and like getting away from the stimulus, putting yourself in a quiet space, getting something comforting. If you're feeling like you're just gonna become overwhelmed, if you possibly can, taking yourself out of the situation and finding a quiet space can make all the difference in the world. And no one's going to judge you. No one's judging you for feeling overwhelmed by your feelings. We're not judged for how we feel. We're judged for how we react. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So if you feel angry and you feel upset and you're fucking frustrated with all this, that is fine. What matters is that you don't hurt somebody else or inflict that on somebody else. You can feel all the feelings you want. We're judged by what we do, right?
Yep. Exactly.
And we joke a lot. The phrase goes around a lot. Touch grass. But really, that is just go get back in touch with reality. Step away from the thing that is winding up in your brain so big you can't deal with it.
Yeah.
Just
time to step away.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good thing with Guild Wars 2, because you can take a step away for a little bit and come back and you won't be any worse off.
Mm-hmm.
Babies don't deserve this unflattering comparison. Oh, yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay.
And the one thing I tell my community a lot too is that be constructive about your criticism.
Yeah.
I mean, I and go take it to the forums. Go take it to Reddit. Go be constructive and actually provide something.
We could drown out
something
some of
that they
the...
can work on, and give them like tips or pointers or just like your feedback, because that goes a long way, especially now because the developers have done so much better at player feedback and working to make things better for us. I think it's really important that everyone just take a minute of your time and just go post your opinion on the forums, but be constructive about it.
Absolutely.
And actually say something that actually works.
When you're annoyed, you've got two options. You can get angry and you can let all that frustration out, but you're not going to get any response from the person that you are being angry at. They're going to shut down and they're done with you. Or you can be constructive and calm and be explicit and direct about what's wrong, why it's wrong, and what you think could be a solution. And then you're engaging with another human being. They're not going to shut down. Even if they don't have a solution, at least there's still going to be a constructive dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, exactly.
Oh my god! Important news! Important news!
Oh no!
I have an announcement! It's an amazing announcement! Oh my god. Hello, thank you for contacting Guild Wars 2 support. We would be more than happy to assist with the recovery of your celebration hat. After researching the account, we've been able to locate the item and have sent another celebration hat to your in-game mailbox. You'll be able to find this mail next time you log in.
Oh, congratulations! I'm so happy for you!
I got my hat back.
Yeah! Oh, that's a good feeling. That's a good feeling.
That was so worth doing during the podcast.
I'm so glad you got that. Oh, yay.
That's so good. Oh my god, we just showed the turnaround of Guild Wars 2 support on items
It's amazing.
during the podcast. I'm not actually bullshit. Like that was I did that during the podcast. I was doing it because Malcolm was saying what to type. I literally typed that exact thing.
The support team is great. I put in tickets to fix like gem buying issues and like different things happening, and they returned to you within a day. It's not even. I waited maybe 2 hours, and they got back to me and fixed everything.
That is
the support team is great.
Epic.
Yay! Hats.
Yes, a hat. I have been so sad that I missed that. There might be some other armor and stuff as well that I had previously, which I did. I'm actually going to email back and be like, is there any way?
Can you go back and comb through and make sure I got everything?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, please.
There were a couple of armor pieces that, oh my gosh, every now and then I will remember that the wardrobe system used to be character bound. And there are skins that I lost, and I'll just, every now and then I'll remember that was how it used to be. The armor system now, the skins, is the account-wide skin unlocks. That's just great. It's so good.
It's a really great thing, yeah.
It is a wonder. It's brilliant. And if they just get rid of trans charges, it would be the best system in any game.
I was really sad because whenever they brought out the armory system for the legendary armory, I was really sad because I had previously converted my Twilight into an Eternity and sold it.
Oh.
And I didn't know the armory was coming yet, but when they announced the armory and said that all of those were going to get unlocked, I realized that I fucked up because, sorry for my language, but like my Twilight was gone now, and I couldn't unlock it. So
you got
at least
that
I have a
sorted
skin for it, but yeah.
You got sorted though?
Oh no, I haven't contacted. I should probably contact support.
Oh my god, do it! For God's sake, what is the matter with you? Jesus, we just proved
I don't know
that.
if they would recover that though, because I sold
well, you have to
so...
ask. You don't get unless you ask. Ask them, Malcolmist.
That's
ask
true.
them. Send an
take my own
email.
advice.
They are
The thing
supportive.
is,
Sorry.
Okay.
if you ask politely, the worst thing that can happen is a no.
Yeah.
If you never ask, it'll
If you
But if you
demand
ask
it,
him-
they're like, no.
yeah. There you go.
Yeah. All right.
Ta-da! Okay,
Yeah.
everyone, we're gonna end the podcast there unless anyone wants to add to it. That was great fun.
You're all lovely and beautiful.
Yes, I know. What? It's been like 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours. Of
Oh,
course.
boy.
It's never gonna be less than that. Thanks so
Oops.
much for watching and being here, people. We're gonna do a little bit of an outro. Anyone want to mention anything before we skedaddle? No. Good stuff.
Tumbleweeds. No.
That's good. That's fine. Okay. Otterscotch, tell us what you do, where you do it, and thank you for coming on.
Otterscotch.
Yeah.
I am Otterscotch on Twitch, so twitch.tv/Otterscotch. You can find me on Twitter and where else am I? I
Instagram.
swear I'm on somewhere. Instagram. Yes, I have an Instagram.
You do have an Instagram. Oh, right. Okay.
I play Guild Wars 2, variety games, and art of whatever sort strikes my fancy. So all sorts of things, needle felting especially. It's fun. You should come on a Friday.
Yeah, go watch. Do it. Do the things.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for being here, Otterscotch. It's awesome to have you once again. Crown Herald, what you do? Where you do it? Where you going? Woo.
Trying
Sorry.
to remember which one it is. This. No, oh god. Okay, this one. So I'm the Great and Herald. I make Guild Wars 2 content primarily, although I am going to be branching out because I need to for my own sanity. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me occasionally here on Twitch, mostly on this podcast, but I am planning on doing more streaming in the future. And if you are interested, I post a lot on Twitter. I'm a bit of a shit poster on Twitter, so yeah, that's the thing.
Okay.
And that's me.
Cool. Awesomeness. Thank you for coming on as well, the Crown Herald. Fornex, the Crown Herald. Malcolmist. Tell us what you do, where you do it. Do the things.
I'm Malcolmist. I'm a Guild Wars 2 streamer, content creator. I'm also an artist. I'm on Twitch, Twitter. I'm also starting to bring up some more YouTube videos as well. And also I currently have a giveaway on Twitter for the coloring page as well that ends tomorrow, 2,000 gems. So speaking of gems, trying to think of what else is going on. Not much else.
Make sure you go and follow all of these awesome people.
Civil rights activist. There we go.
What, sorry?
Civil rights activist.
There you go. I love it. Good stuff. Also, the news today again. LightBringers doesn't support the bullshit that's coming out of America right now, okay, peeps? So if you do get the opportunity to vote, and you're in America and all the stuff, make some positive change, get your butt moving, get out there, do the things, okay? Otherwise, be active. That's it. That's right. Talk to people, write letters, do the stuff. Your vote, your voice matters and counts. And we will see you next time on the LightBringers podcast next week. Friday, the something. We're going to be in July, people. I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching and have a biscuit. See you later.
More.
Goodbye.